Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly bring to you the Fantasy Football 5. Introducing Coach J. Crew.
Hello, you play to win the game.
Trigger Mike, Michael Smith.
Trigger Mike strikes again.
The Magic Man, Ryan
I
Robertson.
got a new nickname. The Magic Man. Now you see me? Now you don't.
And JT, the Commish.
Evening, Commissioner.
Yeah. I'm feeling that.
Do a little curveball in there.
Was
You
that
don't have
the
fastball on it.
Was that
Curveball all the way. Fastball.
Cowboys and Indians. That is how you throw a curveball, according to Steve Schmidley.
And Charlie.
Remember that. No, Charlie Brown is. All right, fastball,
Oh, yeah.
curveball.
Yeah.
He used to do a drill where we'd sit there and said, "All right." if I
Michael played Eagles ball.
Yeah, I don't know if he did that drill where we were lined up between first base and second base. He said, "If I clap once, it's a fastball. If I clap twice, it's a curveball." All right, everybody get ready to swing. He'd clap and everybody swung, but then he'd clap again. Like, you can't do that if we're supposed to clap. It was the dumbest drill I've ever seen in my entire life.
That was back in the days when Trigger Mike was rocking the Pedro throw. Pedro Martinez.
I remember Trigg was chilling in the outfield, me and Trigg and Holland and Johnson, I believe. Just out there just shagging flies, just hanging out.
This is United Eagles baseball that we're reminiscing on. But that's not what we're here for, gentlemen.
What are we here for?
Fantasy football.
Fantasy football.
Okay.
Back to week 9. A doozy of a week. We start off with Ryan versus Andrew.
All right.
All right, I'm slow on the computer. I thought this would make it quicker. Made it slower.
Typey, no thank you.
Typey, no thank you.
I'm telling you, man.
A lot of thank you, no typey. All right, okay.
Let's just get
A
the
lot of
obvious
talking,
one out of the
thank you.
way.
All right. Okay, here we go. We had an original projection of a 96 for Smith-Schuster and the Jujus. We had an original projection of a 129 for the Fantasy Phenoms. The final, 99 to 150. Biggest blowout of the week.
We both exceeded.
I'm not going to say that he won you the week because technically you could have put Clyde Hilaire in there and still won by a point.
JoJo had a good game.
Good is an understatement.
I guess the Panthers are like, we only play against Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
We take other weeks completely off.
Is it bad that I think, all right, hold on a second. Let me check to make sure.
Well, while you're checking, typically when I look at a lineup, I'm like, which team had more 20-point scorers? And that's typically who wins. Well, when you got a 53 piece and you still got 2 guys over 20, you pretty much never lose.
Yeah, it is true.
But the thing that I was about to say, Kenneth Walker's only been the starter for 3 games, I think. He's got 7 touchdowns on the year. Joe Mixon just had a game where he scored 5 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he's only got 6 on the year.
I was about to say, they were saying like after he had his second one, he's already doubled his season output. And I'm like, oh, good. Maybe they won't use him as much and Carolina can make this a game. Yeah.
No, it didn't happen.
I think he scored maybe week 1.
Kenneth Walker, that was his 4th game starting. But,
4th, okay.
Yeah, but he did come in relief in week 5, scored a touchdown that week. He has a touchdown in each of his last 5 games, 2 of those with 2 touchdowns.
Ever since Penny's gone down, he's scored at least once.
Yep.
Yeah, his draft value, I think, is going up every week for next season.
Yeah.
Looking into
And
it.
I got him in the keeper league that we did.
Yeah, that was big to get.
Right now, you pretty much, look at Kim Walker, he's got to be first round at least, thinking about it.
I think he's kind of on that cusp of like an end of the first, beginning of the second, like the turn pick. That's what we always
For
like to
me,
kind of
he's similar to what I think people were looking at Javonte Williams coming into this year.
That's the exact same person.
Yep.
Because
I can see
if you
that.
watched them both play in college, they very similar. Like they don't go down on first contact. JT watched a lot of college football, right? Where'd he go?
Kenneth Walker.
Le'Veon Bell.
I'm gonna give you a help.
Michigan State.
And
Hey! Yeah!
In the area, maybe the closest Power 5 school to us.
Power 5.
One of the major 5 conferences. Like ACC's probably.
North Carolina. That's not where. Who we talking
Closest one to us.
Who we talking about?
Kenneth Walker. He played at another school. And it's
NC State.
40 minutes away.
Okay, not NC State. Duke.
Still not 40 minutes away.
Wake Forest. Boom. There we go. Yeah, baby. 2 for 2.
That was college and geography. Either one.
2 for 2. All right, I'll take it.
It was the same guy.
So you had Joe Mixon 53. You had Kenneth Walker 26. You had Josh Allen with 24, and an elbow injury. Correct?
Yes. He was getting sacked, and the guy was like, both arms on his elbow, and he still tried to power through it and finish the throw. And it's a UCL injury, which I'm pretty sure that's what the dudes get Tommy John on.
Yeah, it is.
Not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal for a quarterback. Not ideal for a gunslinger.
No.
Either.
Not at all.
Yeah.
He's
Or a
still,
gunslinging quarterback.
he's still the best running back on that team, so do they
I was
just
gonna
put
say,
him
yeah,
in the
just-
backfield and run Wildcat?
He had 86 rushing yards.
And 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns. You're
Yeah,
right.
he didn't throw a touchdown.
That second touchdown was impressive.
That 36-yard
Yeah.
scamper.
Yeah.
Well, when we brought up midseason awards, I said, like, Josh Allen gets overlooked for his rushing ability. Like,
Yeah.
nobody really talks about it because there's a couple, at least we never talk about on the podcast his rushing totals.
If Josh Allen didn't rush, he is not as good on as fantasy for Patrick Mahomes. But the fact that he runs as much as he does
Yeah.
that's what I
separates him from
said.
Patrick Mahomes.
I never think about Josh Allen running, really. I think about him just throwing freaking
Oh, dude,
bombs.
I have that baked into every
Because
single game.
you're watching him closer.
Shows a balance.
Well, no, I'm talking about like he's been the number 1 quarterback I think the past 2 years.
Yeah.
It's because he gets like 600 yards on the ground, and like 4 or 5 rushing touchdowns every year. So it's just he has that baseline whether he's having a bad game or not. He gets that.
But can he make it 3 years in a row?
Shows a
I don't know. I've taken a running quarterback past 2 years, and they've both gotten hurt around the middle of the season. Kyler Murray, you idiot.
I'm gonna
He's
take
hurt
it.
again.
I'm gonna finish this one. Shows the balance of Ryan's team because we made a big point about like him and Diggs always going for like 40 plus and stuff along those lines.
We'll get to
a
that
week
in a
where
minute.
they're a little down, his running game really steps up and like kind of helps them win that battle.
Yeah.
The other one I wanted to point out was what's happened to Detroit's offense. It was like this goat.
No idea.
Holy cow. And they were
No
putting up
idea.
like 30-some every game. They just couldn't stop nobody. And now their defense is actually like
They had a stretch where they were the highest scoring offense and they were giving up the most points on defense. So it was every game they were in was a shootout. And then
I'll tell you what happened.
St. Brown got hurt, and then it's just
Oh, that.
completely different.
St. Brown got hurt, and they played New England and put up a 0.
Yeah.
Ever since then, they've only had 1 game over 20 points.
And they got
that
rid
was
of the
4
best tight
games.
end in football.
And they got rid of one of the mid-range tight ends in football.
He went to tight end U.
He's not Travis Kelce. He's
He
not
went to
Mark
tight end
Andrews.
U.
Iowa.
Attaboy.
Hey!
There we
3
go.
for 3. Killing it
We
today.
are teaching college.
Speaking of tight ends, well, there's really not much to say. I had Taysom Hill throwing a touchdown, and Taysom Hill did throw for 13 yards.
We'll talk about tight ends and Andrew's team here coming up.
Okay.
a little preview.
On Andrew's side of the ball, Lazard ended up leading the way outside of your non-QB scoring with 16.7. He had a 13.8 from Juju, who did so on 10 receptions for 88 yards. Jeff Wilson Jr., which was an interesting start.
Yeah.
I about sent something to Andrew. I was sitting there watching a lot of that game. I was like, bold start by Jeff Wilson. I think I knocked him early.
Yeah.
They are using Jeff Wilson just like Mike McDaniel used him last year in San Francisco. Like,
It's almost like
him
I
and
know
Mostert-
what he does well, and he's going to come in and fill that need. For
He's
us.
almost like, okay, we signed Chase Edmonds for a bunch of money
Yeah,
because
what-
we thought he was going to fill the Jeff Wilson role, and then realized
He's not.
He's not Jeff
Wilson.
Wilson.
he's not Jeff Wilson. And Jeff Wilson's cheaper. Let's just go get Jeff Wilson. And
Yeah,
ship
so-
Chase Edmonds out of town.
Yeah, so Jeff Wilson with 14.7, 72 total yards and a touchdown. Deonta Foreman, bad week last week, but we'll talk about his week on Thursday. And,
We asked this 4 or
preview.
5 weeks ago. Is Juju now an every week wide receiver 2 for Andrew's team?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you
I
think
think
that
he's the best.
changes
I think
in
he's
any
the best
way?
receiver he's got.
Possibly a wide receiver 1 now that he lost Hollywood Brown, though.
Yeah, I mean that's the best receiver he's got.
Yeah.
As to Debo,
But Juju's had a better last
Joe.
month, I think.
if you had to tell me right now, pick between Juju and Debo for the rest of the season,
I'd pick Debo. I want to see what a healthy Debo and a healthy
That offense
CMC
can
looks
still
like.
be very.
I want to see CMC and Debo have a couple games together and see what they look like.
I don't think Debo's going to get the rushing totals like he had.
Do you
He's
not
gonna
think
get
either, but he's
5
still-
Do you
carries.
think
He
Juju
still
could be
breaks so many
affected by
tackles.
trades by Kansas City and like other personnel that they're bringing in?
Maybe, but like this week, I feel really good about Juju and McCole Harmon being out.
Yeah.
If anything, I think it helps Tony, but I think Juju's role stays the same. I think they're getting on the same page.
They're phasing
He's an
out.
underneath guy.
Like they're not. I think they've just basically said Valdez-Scantling. That was a good idea, but
The idea was nice. The
next
execution
time
of it,
you
not.
can do it a little bit better.
Yeah. Kyler Murray again led the way for Andrew with 23.
Yeah, but Call of Duty, double point weekend.
Oh, is it? Is it double XP?
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough. And they said he got hurt this week, quote unquote, at practice. Yeah,
His thumbs are hurting.
he's leveling up.
So we'll see what happens. Ryan, one more thing about your squad real quick.
Your team sucks, dude.
Now, my question is, I guess 2 players really, but I want to focus on the first one. Okay, so
Is it wide receiver 2 and 3?
it's
Or is it flex?
3. It's 3. It's not 2. I feel good about 2.
What high
Amon-Ra
hopes we had on
feels
that
good.
guy?
Yeah.
Michael Pittman.
He's wide receiver 4 on my team. Cooper was on a bye, so that's why he was in. But it's.
Do you see?
I was
any
so
kind of
excited on
resurgence?
his talent that he's shown the past couple of years.
The talent's there. It's
And
no one's throwing the
then
ball.
you get Matt Ryan. They said, "Oh, Matt Ryan's going to have the best offensive line he's ever had in his career."
Matt Ryan.
The offensive line is in shambles,
Terrible.
and now they've benched him. Fired the coach, I think, over benching
Hired
him.
Jeff Saturday.
Hired Jeff Saturday right off of NFL Network.
Which,
Dude, he's had 1 year of coaching experience.
In
He's
high
3
school.
and 7 in high school. Not ideal.
so let's even talk about Jeff Saturday.
And it's just
for a
like he's
second.
getting Michael Pittman's 6'3" or whatever he is, can run very well, and they run his routes 4 yards, 5 yards down the line of scrimmage. Like they doesn't even get deep shots.
So
Don't even get deep shots.
you hire the guy off NFL Network to immediately become the head coach, not an OC, not even an offensive line coach, would all help make sense. To come and be the head coach with no coaching experience at the collegiate or professional level that you just said, but he's a legacy there too. Like he dedicated his whole career, played over 15 seasons. What did he say, like 9 playoff runs, and
I think
all
he might
this
have played like
incredible
one
stuff.
season
Like,
for the
he-
Giants or something, but yeah, for the
But
most
the
part.
idea of it is like, this dude shouldn't be brought in as an scapegoat kind of guy. It's not like we're going get somebody off the side of the street and it's like we don't really care about or something like that. It's a guy who's like enshrined in Colts history, and now he's being put into a terrible situation.
I think it's one of those things that, hey, we still want fans to come to the game, but we don't want to win any of those games. So they're trying to hedge their bets. It's not ideal, man.
Y'all think there's any chance?
It's one of those things where almost like the Kyle Pitts situation, like the talent is still there for the player, but they're just not using him correctly. But you can't take him out of the lineup because you don't want to have one of those blow up weeks like 4 or 5 weeks ago when he got 15 or 16 targets again and he went off again. So
I understand.
Y'all think there's any chance of like him coming in and turning some things around for the Colts?
no,
You think
they
they're-
might just do the Tennessee Titans, run the ball 35 times a game. They don't care if it's effective or not, just because they don't want the ball in Sam Elliott.
I do think the run game doesn't take a step back. I think if anything, he'll come in with his knowledge of playing that long and how to pick up different fronts. I think that the run game will be better blocked. I don't know if it necessarily changes like how big the gaps are, but I mean, at least I think you're going to have a guy who comes in and understands like this is the front the defense is getting us. This is how we need to block and what plays we need to run in order to be efficient there. I don't think it helps with a quarterback. I don't think it helps in the passing game. I still think that's going to be
I think it's a
bad
lost season,
situation.
but I think it's a lost season for them.
Bad Colts. All right, so that takes Ryan and the Fantasy Phenoms to 7-2 in second place, and it drops Smith-Schuster and the Juju's to 2-7 and in ninth.
True story.
All right, second matchup we have Jake versus Tyler. Ooh, a little rivalry.
battle.
Man, this last week should have been rivalry week.
Rivalry week indeed.
All right, so we had original projection for turd sandwiches, 103. We had an original projection, 121 for autonomy is American. The final, 158 to 123 in favor of turd sandwiches. Jake, great week.
Did see that one coming, buddy.
Very
No
impressive.
offense.
Neither did I.
No, nobody did. I think we all picked Tyler to win this
We
matchup.
all did.
I think we did. So, Jake, you were led by Devontae Adams with 146 receiving yards, 10 receptions, and 2 touchdowns for a total of 31.6 points.
And he had 31.1 of those in the first half.
Impressive.
Second half, 1 catch, 0 yards.
Thought I had a 60 piece on my hands. Then he's like, no, I'm not.
It was like that. It was shaping up to like that game where Tyreek Hill had like 250 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns in the first
Oh,
quarter.
yeah.
A couple years ago, he kept saying he's on pace for
When they
1,000
played-
yards
when
in
they played
this
the
game
Bucks.
alone.
Yeah, when they played the Bucks,
The-
they played them again in the Super Bowl.
And it didn't happen again.
The second half, he did have a couple of opportunities. I think he had a crucial
Yeah, 8
drop that was
targets.
like a pretty big one. Yeah, I mean, there was still a lot of chances in the second, even though they didn't connect for like big yards or anything. But I was just happy to see like Carr force feed him in many respects.
I think it was 40-some% of the targets.
But that's
almost half.
That's stuff I like to hear. I don't know if it'll continue because one week he'll throw it to him 3 times, the next week he throws it to him 28 times.
He's not going to have multiple flu games, though.
You know what I like to hear, Jake?
What?
Tua Tagovailoa going for another 3 touchdowns
I like
Likes
to.
to.
and 300 yards. Tua, 30.08.
Tua's
I like
shown
that.
the potential in the past, and it's always kind of had injuries involved. It's
Even this
had
year.
offensive line questions, but you have 2 of the top 5 wide receivers in terms of yards and fantasy points right now with
And
Hill
probably in
and
terms
Waddle.
of speed, too.
Well, and that's a big point to make because they're not just catch it and go down guys. They're catch it and they'll take a 10-yarder to a 40-yarder and a touchdown. And I think that's the critical thing is like it helps Tua's touchdown numbers. Other than kind of like here's a 10-yard, 10-yard, 10-yard. Now we're in the red zone, hand it off and let someone else get the touchdowns. It's like I throw the 10-yarder, but he turns it into 6 points, and that's huge for fantasy value at quarterback.
Do y'all remember when Tua was getting benched in the fourth quarter for like either Jacoby Brissett or Ryan Fitzpatrick where like he
His
couldn't
rookie
do
year?
yeah he couldn't do the game winning drive, so they were bringing in the veteran to come in behind him. Tables have turned.
Tables have turned, Ryan.
Which was a
Oh,
surprising
how the
shootout
turntables.
game with your boy on the other side,
Jaboy
Justin Fields, just going the
That's your boy.
going
man.
ham.
That's my
That's
boy.
your boy.
My boy was on the bench.
Ah, dang. Jake, you also had another, let's see, a 23.9 from Kenyon Drake in the flex.
Yeah, wow.
This is
Never
for the
know
guy
what
that
to
said,
expect.
for some reason Yahoo says I have to start 2 running backs, and he started 3.
Yeah, I shouldn't have started one of the other ones.
Yeah,
But, I mean,
but I think Drake would have been the one you'd have benched out of him and Deion Jackson.
I don't know. Just because Drake, with the majority of the workload, had 2 or 3 pretty solid games this year.
But that was a Monday night game, right? And you didn't know if Gus Edwards was going to play or not, so you had to.
No,
put him
but
in
I mean,
flex.
me and you had talked about it last week. It looked like Gus was trending towards out.
He shouldn't have played. Anyway.
Especially after the bye week, I think his value will greatly decrease. Drake, that is. But I mean,
the Drake.
Right,
good numbers and good runs. Looking on one interesting thing that I thought was looking at the trade that happened 3 weeks ago between me and Tyler.
Yeah.
Both of those players were in the starting lineup for each other. So I had Michael Carter with 15-1 and he had Lockett 15-2.
Tyler won the trade.
Yep, Tyler. So that's what I was getting at. So Tyler clearly ripped me off in that scenario.
Well.
But the Jets beat the Bills. So
Are you surprised? Is anybody surprised at this
yes,
point?
shocked.
I'm not.
I am.
I'm not. Bills aren't as good as everybody makes them out to be.
Still thought they'd put up more points than that.
I still thought
And they would
Josh
struggle to
Allen
score.
have a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
That too.
They are not who we thought they were.
I will say, Sauce Gardner is a very good corner as a
Yes.
rookie.
When you got a name like Sauce,
You got it.
yeah.
I don't like prime time stepped on the field and sucked.
yeah.
Or Devon?
I don't even know he had a first
His name
name. I
is
thought his
Sauce.
first name
His
was
name
Sauce.
is Sauce.
No, it's not.
Yeah, you got a name like Sauce. You're either gonna be really good or you gonna be
You'll be hot.
bagging groceries. It's one of the two, man. And he's really good.
Oh, man. Sauce, we need you up on count 3. I'm on break, man.
It's one of the two, man. There's no you got a name like that. Mediocrity is not in your vocabulary.
No, man. No, man.
All right. So yeah, Jake, Christian Kirk, 17.6.
Good final week.
Good final week for you. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Michael Carter, as you said, 15.1. Defense.
Travis Etienne might be a top 5 running back the rest of the year.
Well, we weren't over there yet, but I guess we'll jump. to
Jake
Travis
already
Etienne.
jumped because he started talking about Lockett.
Oh, he did. All right,
he
Travis
did. He
Etienne.
He had 3 people go over 20 on his side. ETN does look like, one of those guys that you were just kind of putting in the Walker category.
Yeah.
You're looking at even next year draft value and stuff along these lines. The one concerning point with him is what they came out and said after the game, that they're going to start trying to limit his...
Past 2 games, 24 carries, 28 carries.
Yeah, they're
he
gonna-
is not Derrick Henry. He's
No.
not that big.
And I think because of the injury he came in to the league with, they're already talking about limiting his carries, which is not something as a fantasy owner you want to hear. You're like, just
Yeah.
keep giving him
It's
work.
like, dude, look how effective he's been when you give him all this work.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he's looked really good with the opportunity. It makes the trade of James Robinson look,
Smart.
yes, and
Smart.
working out. Big win for them against Vegas. So
Green Bay sucks.
you can see a culture change. Green Bay
Aaron Jones.
What are you
is
doing?
out.
Are you just throwing random stuff at the wall?
Aaron Jones
Aaron
is
Jones
right there
is
in
the
his flex.
5.5.
That was his
I
second
know, but
round
he's
pick.
talking about Travis Etienne, and you just say Green Bay sucks.
He said, "Well," so I was going.
And that is a good point because Detroit's given up a lot of
Detroit was
running
the
back.
worst defensive.
Didn't Aaron Jones get
team.
banged up in that game?
Yeah.
No, it was that
Yeah.
we left in the third quarter, but he looked terrible if you watch that game. Like it's just there's no holes for him.
But
at
he's
all.
removed from the injury report already this week. So how banged up was he really?
Yeah, he didn't play in the third. I don't know if it's one of those things where hey, we're just gonna.
But
sit him out.
But then we talk about him having one of the best backups in the league, and that dude sucks too.
And he's on Ryan's team.
He was in my lineup. I got excited when I saw him go out. When Jones go out, all right, AJ Dillon
Dillon's
about
out.
to eat.
Didn't he?
He wasn't hungry.
Aaron Rodgers, 3 picks, 2 of them at the 1 yard line or 2 yard
Yeah,
line.
that.
Yeah,
Just right.
I don't
Not
understand
not
why you
something
have
Rodgers
AJ Dillon
does.
if you're not going to give him 1 yard carries.
I
But
don't know.
Damian Pierce, interesting one to look at. He had 13.9, which again, like it's right around his projection. and it's-
13.9 without a touchdown.
Right,
Yeah,
without a
that's-
touchdown, without any receptions, 139 rushing yards. Like, again, like you'd like to see a little bit higher numbers, like fantasy wise.
Philly's one of the best
The
defenses
rushing,
in football,
but
though.
I mean, dude, you'll take 139 rushing
Oh, you
yards
can
any
take that
week.
From a team
And that
where
was
you
a-
know exactly who they're giving the ball to.
Yeah,
and it was a
nobody
Thursday,
played.
that was a Thursday night game too, right?
Yeah.
It was. Justin Jefferson, 22, continues to look solid. Geno Smith with 22.8, continues to look solid.
That's Seattle being an offensive juggernaut. I did not see coming.
Yeah, I don't really think anybody saw Geno Smith being just like an overall like top.
They
10,
wrote me off,
15
but I didn't
quarterback
write
this year.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith's cold blood.
15 passing touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. When again,
Very efficient.
yeah,
Yeah.
early in his career, that was the problem: is giving the ball over to the other team. You don't want to do that, right?
No, and he had 38 rushing yards. So
Hey,
Looking at Tyler's team, so I was looking at it the past couple weeks. So it took him Etienne and Pierce a couple weeks to finally get going. But he's tied for 2 other guys at 2-7. Is he not like a scary team that you would want to see if
He's
you're
the-
like
he's the team on the way up.
If he comes in at like 8 or 7 and you're like 1 or 2, that's one of the teams that like I know I'm not gonna be that high, but I wouldn't want to face him in the first round. Like his team from top to bottom. I mean, I know Aaron Jones has
he
been
would
struggling.
be right there at like the 5th, 6th spot in terms of points that he
Yeah.
scored. But
Like,
he's
he's got a
such
good
bad
team.
weeks early
Yeah.
on. It's really showing like his team's been scoring very high
Yeah.
as of late.
I think if he
Yeah.
sneaks in
I
the
know
playoffs,
That's the
he
8 seed you don't want
will.
to
Yeah,
see.
you don't want to. Yeah, if you're
Etienne's-
Jordan, you don't want to play him in the
Etienne's
first
not
round.
a rookie, but he didn't play last year, so
So he's
technically I would
basically
consider him a
us.
rookie. Damian Pierce is a rookie. They're both coming on. Chris Godwin
hasn't scored a touchdown.
hasn't
yet.
scored a touchdown yet this year,
Yeah.
but it's getting a ton of targets.
But I mean, like even
So-
CD Lamb since Dak's been back has looked strong. I mean, you got to remember he had CD with Cooper Rush there for a while, which was they were more efficient on the ground than they were through the air in terms of passing
They're
yards.
just winning games.
So you're saying Jefferson, Godwin, Lockett, and CD Lamb with 2 good running backs? I mean, dang, well, 3 if Aaron Jones shows up that week.
He don't even need it.
His
Jones. I
biggest
would just put
issues-
CD Lamb in my flex.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I mean.
I know he couldn't last week because he was on a bye, but
Or Najee Harris.
no.
I'll play CD Lamb.
I think he was really looking forward to the potential of Cooks getting dealt.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, which if he had Cooks dealt to Green Bay, all of a sudden his like receiving core would have been
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
stupid. Now you could even like bench Godwin on weeks you didn't want to, which I guess you could still do because right now he has like
He can
CD
do whatever he
Lamb on
wants
his
to do,
bench
technically.
this
He
week.
really can assist it. Solid squad, solid squad.
It's a
But
solid team.
that takes Jake.
But you got to win the games that are in front of you. And hasn't so far, but this team does look dangerous.
Yeah.
That takes
Okay.
you. Go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, I feel bad for the guy that's got to play him this week.
That's it.
Who's got playing this week?
I do.
The guy that got playing too. That takes Jake. Turd sandwiches 2, 4, and 5, and in 6th place. And it takes Tyler of Autonomy is American to 2 and 7th and in 8th. That final playoff spot if the playoffs were to start today. But you know what, Ryan?
What's up? They don't
Playoffs-
start today.
Playoffs don't start today.
Ton of time left.
I think he's only like 7 points ahead of the person in 9th as far as total points. I think the record
Stat man right here. Can't get nothing by him. All right, third matchup we have Broach versus Mikkel.
Everything burns.
I'm digging that. So we had an original projection of 101 for the newly crowned Everything Burns. Last week it was 4-7.
Why, hello, beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. So original projection 101 for Broach. We had a original projection of 117 for the league versus me, Michael Smith. The final 79 to 109 in favor of the league versus me.
if you don't meet your projection on the week, you also don't want the person you're playing to meet your projection. You know? It just makes you feel better about underachieving.
We both underachieved.
Well, yeah, I know who
I just
didn't
didn't underachieve.
I know who didn't underachieve for you there.
Who's that?
Patriots defense.
Patriots freaking defense, 33.
Matthew Jordon was a man possessed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Mr. Red Sleeves just doing whatever he wanted to do.
God, 33 from
Yeah, 33 from a defense. That's going to help you a lot of weeks. It's actually help you every week.
Yes.
It's gonna help you
And
every
the thing is, there was a linebacker in that game that was calling out the offense's plays. And it was a Colts linebacker calling out New England's plays. It felt like it was the other way around. It felt like New England knew exactly what they were doing.
And
I
the
felt
final
like-
score would say that.
You know when
Yeah.
Waterboy were like, they're just reading the idiot's guide for coaching for dummies or whatever, and they do what plays they're calling? That's what it felt like watching that game. It was ugly.
So New England with 33. You had Kirk Thuggins with a solid 20.4.
Y'all saw the dance.
Iced
Yes.
out, man. Iced out.
Kirk
You
Cochain.
like that?
If
he
I
made
die,
them
I
come
die.
back against the Commanders. Good for him.
Yeah, I liked it. Really outside of that, Mike?
It was not much.
Yeah, Ramondre
Yeah.
Stevenson with 14.5. DK with a solid
The newly
12.2.
acquired DK. Well, not newly, but
For me.
yeah.
This your first
Yeah, it was first time.
second matchup?
That was the first one with him at Fournette.
Yeah, Mike, I'm going to say those four led you to victory.
Yeah, everybody else in single digits or close to it.
Yeah, leave, Broach. You did have a rough week.
Broach did have a rough week.
Yeah, he did.
Broach was led by Lamar Jackson with 19.5.
It's not what you want to hear.
No. Again, if you look and you see a team that has multiple 20-point scores, they probably won.
You see five players with under 10 points. You're like, ooh.
They probably lost.
Broach started Duvernay and Allen Robinson as his wide receivers 2 and 3, and you see he made a trade this week to try to rectify that. So
Yeah, Duvernay I had earlier in the season when Bateman first got injured. And
we'll talk about
really
Duvernay on a bowl prediction. This
Oh
week.
yeah, we will. Oh yeah, we will. I remember writing that down. That wasn't you. It wasn't you. Don't worry.
You're fine.
You're fine. Thank God, I was about to say.
You're off the hot seat for now, Ruth.
He sucked when I had him, but I mean, he's technically
He
the
sucked
wide
for
receiver
what?
1, and Mark Andrews was out. So it was like, well, he's got to throw it to somebody. Not necessarily. I guess Isaiah Likely was
Yeah,
most likely.
He had 133
Oh,
passing.
I like-
No, I think Isaiah Likely
Like
didn't have a
he
ton of
did.
yards either.
Yeah,
he had that touchdown in the first drive.
Yeah, one catch for 24 yards and a touchdown
Yeah.
in that matchup. He started him as well.
And that was it.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, for Broach, AJ Brown continues to be like pretty good.
Pretty good.
13.9. TJ Hawkinson in his that's his second game of Minnesota.
First game.
First game,
First
yeah,
game. That's first game.
Nine catches on 9 targets, I believe.
For 70 yards, so solid showing for Mr. Hawkinson. Minnesota's defense with 11, and that's all of Broach's double-digit scores.
Yeah.
And that's all, folks.
Yeah, Benjamin, he started him. James Conner came back, and got the brunt of the touches in that backfield.
It's kind of a week you wanted to
It's a
go
week you
against
want
you,
for
Michael,
good.
because Kamara and Fournette, like two guys you're usually going to get well over 10 points from. Maybe those two will usually get you around like 30 points.
Yeah,
They disappointed this week.
And the
And you were
touchdown
still
machine,
able to-
Jacoby Myers didn't score.
Yeah, which hurt.
Oh, Justin Fields on the bench.
Yeah, the 53. It's tough to
I'm
watch.
looking, I'm like, man,
Let's
We
go
forgot
on.
to bring that one back up.
High scoring
Because
player.
we sat right here and Bryan said, he's like, if I were you, I'd play Cousins. I was like, well, it's still up for debate. I may play Fields. Then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, it is a revenge game. He's going against Washington. I was like, he's probably going to go for like 303 scores. And he did not.
Justin Fields
Justin
said, you know
Fields-
what? I'm going to break the quarterback rushing record this week. Start me, Michael.
That touchdown
Try.
run he had where he broke like 4 tackles and then just outran safeties and corners was impressive.
Yeah,
It-
he's
it
faster
looked
than I
like-
thought.
Yeah, he is a lot faster.
78 rushing
Yes.
yards. Holy cow.
He's faster than I thought he was.
Now, what's the record for all? Is it Kaepernick in that
In the
playoff
playoff game, it's Kaepernick. Yeah.
Okay, but the other one was Vic.
The regular season.
Yeah.
is-
Okay.
And he broke it. Justin
Yeah.
Fields, new record holder. Boom, there you go.
Boom, done.
Boom.
Roasted.
Not really much on Broach's side of the ball on the bench either.
No.
But Broach, hey, he made some moves this week.
He did.
He's
Move-
not out of it.
Movers and shakers, everything burns.
Everything burns. I don't really have much else to say.
No.
Okay.
And we're off.
So that takes Trigger Mike, Michael Smith, the league versus me to 4th place at 6-3, and it drops Everything Burns to 10th at 2-7.
Yep. We got a log jam at 2-7.
All right, so our 4th matchup from Week 9 is JT versus Scorp.
Ooh.
All right, we had an original projection of 125 for the Colder personality. We had an original projection of 110 for the Scorpion Kings.
It's a spot on projection.
Yeah.
Spot on projection.
The final 132 to 110 in favor of the Cult of Personality.
That guy knows what he's doing.
Apparently, Tyreek and Cooper Kupp are still really good at football.
Still good at the football game.
Number 1 and number 2.
That's a hell of a 1-2 punch right there. And then Palmer being the benefactor of some injuries within the Chargers. Great pickup there. So
He's necessary.
that's kind of been your calling card all year, even though your running backs have been really good too. But just having those 2 receivers, they're putting up higher than usually like RB1 positions.
The three line on the top of JT's roster has been so consistent all year. Hurts, Hill, and Cup. I don't know if any of them have had a really bad game all year.
Hurts had one like
Jacksonville, 13.
Is that the one where it was like a downpour, like a monsoon or something?
I think so. And then Hills had 2 games in single digits.
Well, I'm talking about like a 2 or a 3. Like it hasn't had any. They've been like.
Yeah, Cup has been. I think every game is in double digits. Yeah, Cup every game in double digits. Yeah, they've been solid. Really, the player that I'm probably
Fed up with the most?
No, I'm not gonna say fed up.
We know
We'll go the
that.
opposite.
We know
We'll go
that.
the opposite. I'm gonna say probably the happiest with is Miles Sanders
yeah.
because I got him late.
So everyone had given up on him.
I told everybody else to take him.
He was done.
He's taking, I don't want him.
And I just ended up taking him. And again, he hadn't been.
JT's second favorite running back on the Eagles coming into the season.
Yeah, and he's had one game over 20, but he's just kind of been solid week in, week out. Which
but for a
running
guy
back
who
too.
spent that, like when you spend it on him, you were expecting like if I can get like around 10 points a week from this guy, I'll be happy because I'm built with the wide receivers and then Barkley, who has been RB1 status.
You basically
and now
drafted
you're
him
like
as a flex, right?
I basically drafted him as a flex because David Montgomery was going to be my RB2. David Montgomery, he's just kind of been up and down all season.
He's been too inconsistent. But it's nice to find that consistent RB2 with a guy you drafted later who, was it 3 years ago, was a first-round pick, 7th overall.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, including myself, was like, he's washed up. Eagles need to go trade for another running back to have a staple number 1 guy.
Kareem Hunt to the Eagles was extremely loud
Yes.
right in the preseason, and it just didn't happen.
Miles Sanders is the definition of what we call in the business a post-hype sleeper.
Yes.
I like that
I like
terminology.
that post-hype sleeper. Kyle Pitts continues to be
Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts. Nothing more to say there.
Oh, you talking about the guy that's wide open down the seam in the middle of the field? Mariota throws to the sideline.
What do you do? Do you
What
bench
are we
him?
talking about?
It's hard
Dude,
to. 'cause
Mariota,
he's-
I'd love it now.
Yeah.
I'd love
Look,
it
Kyle
now.
Pitts, do you bench him? I mean, I feel like I
No.
can't. I feel like I just got to keep rolling him out there. If he scores a 70-yard touchdown wide open, he scores it. If he doesn't,
Do you see what me and Jake talk about Kyle Pitts every week last year? Because, hey, he's got so much opportunity.
Yeah,
But
but
they can't get him the ball.
we got a terrible quarterback.
The $100 million man. Or the $100
$100 man. $100 man's came across
He
a
did.
couple 2 weeks, man.
Fab down.
Keeping him on the bench though.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, hey,
look at my receivers.
You got a flex.
Yeah, well,
That's why he performs the best, though, is on his bench. When you put him in the lineup, he gets like 3. We call that the Edwards-Helaire.
well, so Garrett Wilson was in some trade talks this past week, but I can't quit. Can't quit.
Hey, man,
Oh, C
I
note.
got you.
So, all right, to Scorp side of the ball, Mahomes,
With 36 only scoring 20 points as a team. That's impressive.
446 passing yards.
It happened on the ground, too. He ran for
Yeah, he ran for 63.
60-something.
Yeah, you're right. Ran for 63.
63 and a rushing touchdown. That'll do it. I think that happened at the end of the game, right, to get him to overtime.
Yeah.
That's
He
right.
ran it in and then ran a 2-point conversion in.
So, yeah, Pat Mahomes, 36. Cordell Patterson come back in his first game, getting some looks.
Yeah, but
He
didn't play
completely
long.
ran over Drew Tranquil. with
Yes,
the
I
goal
did
line.
see that.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
My goodness.
He flattened that dude.
Thought he would get more touches this past week.
He was returning kicks, but not in the
Yeah, they were
offense.
limiting his touches on offense, but yet they still had him return to kicks, which is the most violent thing
Yes.
you can do.
Yeah, that doesn't make much
Didn't
sense.
understand that.
Patterson for 17.8, Dalvin Cook for 12.6, Indianapolis D with 11, and then some single digits
Scorp
from
team
all
didn't
3
score-
receivers.
He didn't score touchdowns.
No, he did not score
I
touchdowns.
mean, the receivers had pretty good games, they just didn't score.
Well, when Joe Mixon is scoring 5 touchdowns, there's
Not
just
much
not a
to
whole
go
lot to go
around.
around with,
Yeah,
with
T. Higgins
Cincinnati.
Take that, T.H.
Thank you.
Somebody had to do it.
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, I'm doing it on the screen.
He is.
But
I'm
again,
going to wipe that off.
Scorp's lineup's going to look a little different coming into week 10.
We can talk about that
Which
here
we'll
in a
talk
minute.
about that here.
Man, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah, we really do. We're teasing.
Yeah. Okay.
Well said.
Well
Well
said.
said.
All right, so that takes the Scorpion King, drops him to 7th place at 4-5, and the Cult of Personality stays in 3rd place at 6-3. For our Week 9 matchup of the week, we had Jordon versus Bryan. Bryan has been in the most matchup of the weeks.
Yep.
And Jordon lost his only matchup of the week.
And our
with
strategy
Bryan.
of putting Jordan in the matchup of the week, see if he'd lose again, didn't happen.
Didn't work.
Then what?
The original projection for Victim of the System was 119. The original projection for the team with no name, which is
his
A
team
name.
name, which is, I can
original projection 134. The final 102 to 120 in favor of Jordano.
102 Jams, Brian's favorite station. 102.1 was what Brian's total was playing this G.
Austin Eckler had 20.6. Austin Eckler continues to be one of, if not the best running back over the past 5-6 weeks.
To be as undersized as he is, he might be the most goal line type. He just scores touchdowns, man. It makes no sense. Like he just gets in the end zone.
Scored 2.
Scored 2 more.
Well, see, they keep talking about like the beginning of the season he was so bad. I guess because he had good matchups, 9.2, 13.9, 9.3. Like, man, Eckler just isn't looking like that. First round talent, running back.
They weren't using
And
him inside the 20s.
I know, but then after that, 31, 33, almost 20, 30, 20, like.
Since week
There-
3, his
Come
worst
on.
game is 19.3. Every other game's been over 30, except for 19.3 and 20.6. The dude's been a freaking stud.
Yeah, Eckler's been looking good.
Jacobs.
Jacobs 10.2. Kind of come down a little bit off of that hot streak he was on.
It's like the same thing with Cincinnati. If Devontae Adams is going off like that, Josh Jacobs, there's probably not too much more to go
Yeah.
around.
That's true.
That's true. I hope you suck.
Kind of goes the same thing with Joe Burrow. He did have one passing touchdown, and that was to Joe Mixon. Also had a rushing touchdown of his own.
That was, like 2 seconds to go in the first half or something?
Yeah.
But again, when Joe Mixon
Show
has
off.
5 touchdowns, 4 of them on the ground, obviously that's going to affect Burrow's total.
There's only one ball.
Jalen Waddle continues to look
Waddle.
like a top 5 receiver.
You know why?
Tua! And you know who likes Tua? This guy. So Jalen Waddle with 17. Again, the number 5 receiver in fantasy this season. Travis Kelce with 15.6 continues to be, I think, the best tight end in football. There may be some debate.
Yeah.
But
You remember we kept saying earlier, like, oh, Jordan really, he's got a great team, but doesn't have a number 1 wide receiver until D-Hop gets back.
no.
Waddle's been there the entire time, and we just didn't treat him like a number 1. He's a number 1. He's a number 2 on his own team, but he's a number 1 on the fantasy team.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Should have started Curtis Samuel.
Well, now we got to scroll down to look at Curtis Samuel. Curtis
started
Samuel with a 15.6. Not bad, not bad.
Yes.
Also had a 12.3 on the bench for Mr.
Robinson.
James Robinson. A solid week from Jordan. The only place he kind of came up lame was the Washington game with 8.1 from Terry McLaurin and 5.7 from Antonio
Started the
Gibson.
wrong one.
Yeah, the other two, his other running back and other receiver from the Commanders, both went double digits.
He did.
So he started the wrong combo.
Started the wrong one. Wrong kid died.
Wrong kid died.
How many games does the Commander won?
2?
I think they're on a streak, right?
He's got like 4 players off a Super Bowl.
losing team.
But he's the best team in
Yes,
fantasy.
Yeah, so you can't
We
really say
say
too
no
much.
about
like, that's
Reitmeyer. Reitmeyer used to be pretty good, and he would have like 6 49ers on his team every year.
Yep.
My bring up.
To the victim of the system side, we have Derrick Henry leading the way with 23.5. Anybody surprised?
Nope.
Derrick Henry continues to be really good at running the football. Dallas Goedert with a 20 spot, even
Yeah.
for Philly. And
Justin Herbert needs healthy pass catchers.
I think Justin
That's-
He might be the biggest disappointment as far as fantasy quarterbacks getting drafted. What, second? Second quarterback taken? Third quarterback taken?
it was something around there.
You took Allen, and
I took
think he
Allen
went
first,
next.
and I think Bryan might have taken Herbert second.
Unless
right.
Broach took Lamar. before
No,
that.
he
No,
took
it's
Lamar
Mahomes.
after I
He
took Hurts.
Yeah, Mahomes.
Lamar went
I
later.
think
yeah.
Herbert went second, but
I think Mahomes went 3. Hurts might have went 4.
might have. I don't know, but I just know that Herbert hurt his ribs, week 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then both of his pass catchers have been out for most of the season.
Look, don't hate on Herbert. He did set an NFL record this season.
Yeah. Most pass tips out of touchdown?
Yeah, I just like bringing up that
Maybe.
I just like bringing up that he's a NFL record holder. Not everybody can say that.
I'm pretty sure he also holds the record for most passing yards and passing touchdowns first 2 years in the league, so there's that.
Oh.
Well, what has he done this year?
What have you done for me?
Throw more passes than anybody else in the league with nobody to catch him.
That's true.
Except for Eckler. That helped out.
That helps out. Jordan's side.
Yeah.
Let's see. Olave with 10.10. Olave continues to be pretty solid. Man, again, Tyler Boyd hurt by the Joe Mixon game. DJ Moore
He came back down to
hurts by the Joe Mixon game.
You know the bad thing about that is DJ Moore had, 2 or 3 great games? What happened in that Cincinnati game? PJ Walker gets benched. Baker comes back in. Baker doesn't like DJ.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Or DJ doesn't like Baker. Whatever it is, that combination doesn't work.
Yeah, there's some problems there. The surprise we talked about earlier with Jeff Wilson Jr. did affect Bryan with Raheem Mostert going for 8.6. Raheem Mostert really has seen the overwhelming majority of, don't know what that says for Mostert going forward, but you have to be a little bit worried, right?
It got to the point where Mostert wasn't doing any timeshare because Evans was that bad. Wilson comes in as an effective. I think it's going to be closer to a 50-50 split.
Yeah, it really might. DeAndre Swift, his first week in Bryan's lineup with a 6.5. Again, he didn't really see many touches. Let's see. He saw 5 touches. No. Yeah.
If Jay Willie continues to be as good as he is, Swift might find himself as a backup. Jamal Williams has looked really good.
The Lions aren't going anywhere, so why would you just keep running? If he's not healthy, what's 5 touches or what? How many touches did he get? You said
it said 5 touches on 9 snaps.
So why are you even putting him out there?
That don't make any sense.
Yeah, if he's hurt, he's the better player. I feel like.
Well, he definitely.
Yeah, he's a better player, but
sure.
if he's not healthy, you're not making the playoffs.
Yeah, it's like if you had to roll him out there because you're 1 game out of the first spot in the division or something, soldier on, buddy. No. You got one win, 2 wins? How many wins does Detroit have?
They got at least 2.
I thought
they got 3.
I don't
think
so.
What? Let's see.
Didn't
They've got a win versus.
Green Bay.
They got 2 wins. Yeah, 2
Okay.
wins. 2 wins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, 2 wins for Detroit.
And I think Minnesota's got 8-1 or something.
Yeah, they're something like that.
They're not
7-1.
winning that division. Yeah.
I think 7-1. I think they have their bye.
Okay.
Darnell Mooney on his bench with 14. Solid.
And that was the Justin Fields game.
That was the Justin Fields game.
Sorry,
all right.
Mike.
It's okay.
Well, that takes victim of the system to 4-5 and in 5th place, and the team with no name 8-1 in first and has officially clinched the first playoff spot.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I feel like it's early,
wins?
but
8 wins to get in the playoffs.
8 wins.
All right.
8 wins.
That'll do it.
But I guess if you got 3 teams that are 2-7, you could he's like he can lose out the rest of the thing and still guaranteed to get 8th. I guess that's how
We're starting to divide a little bit into tiers. You got those 8 through 10, all at 2 and 7. You've got 5 through 7, all at 4 and 5. Then you got me and Mike sitting at the 3 and 4 spot at 6 and 3, and then Jordan and you 1 game out in second. So starting to kind of tear off a little bit.
You're 1 game back. Yeah, you're kind of stuck in the middle. You're the man with no one.
stuck in the middle. Nobody wants to hang out with me. It's me and Jordan. Am I a ginger?
God, I knew something. God.
If something didn't look right. All right, so how we doing picks last week, Ryan?
Picks we had. All right. Bryan, Jake, Ryan, all go 4-1.
Boom!
JT and Michael 2 and 3.
Oh, I thought I had Michael at 3 and 2.
I think it was 2 and 3.
I had Michael. All right, let's see. Michael went Ryan, correct. Tyler, nope. Broach, nope. Okay, my bad. You went 2 and 3.
So does that make him
So that's
26 and 17 then?
Yeah, 26.
Not Tyler,
26 and
number
19. 26 and 19.
Okay.
I was trying to help you out, dude.
I appreciate it.
All right, so that takes the season long. Michael, like we just said, 26-19. Ryan, 27-18. Tied for second, Jake and JT at 28-17.
Coming
and
for you.
Brian is rolling 34-11.
God.
This man knows this
He
league.
does.
Knows this league. Also, you got Scorp at 3 and 2
Yeah,
on the season.
sure we do. Bold predictions, boys. We did.
Oh yeah, let's hear him. Let's hear him.
we did pretty good 2 weeks ago.
Nah,
This week, not so much.
y'all suck.
All right.
Just go with the one we got right.
right,
We really need to go through all these.
Yes, we do.
Jake got Kenneth Walker, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns right.
Hooray!
And Scorp got one of them right. I don't remember what it was.
Kirk
Devontae Adams and Christian Kirk scoring 40 plus. They got 49.2. Every other one we got was wrong. I'm trying to figure out which one was the worst. We'll just
Yeah,
pick
because
that
we don't
one.
need to go through all.
No, we don't.
Probably one of mine.
Scorp said Travis Kelce scored 3 touchdowns. He didn't score at all.
Yeah, that was off.
That might be one of the worst. Way to be an idiot.
I said Derrick Henry 40 again.
Yeah, which
You
I mean,
did.
he had 23.
Yeah,
One
the
that was
game
pretty
close.
close. I thought I was going to say JT said Pat Mahomes,
Number one quarterback
of the week. He forgot about Justin Fields.
he was the number one quarterback that got started.
Yep.
Hey! Half right, all wrong.
And also one of the ones we've picked multiple times this week that is still incorrect. JT said Chris Godwin would score his first touchdown. He did not. All right.
Moving on.
Moving on.
All right, so it was a slow week on the waiver wire. We had 3 players get picked up. We had Mikkel Hardman for 15 going to Jordon. We had
Just to get hurt.
just to get hurt. We had $5 spent on Cole Kmet for Bryan.
What an idiot!
Just to get dropped.
What a loser.
And Arizona DST going to Broach for $1.
$1.
I believe he still has him on his roster. So
Good job.
What an idiot!
Yeah.
You gotta add him and drop him, man.
So while it was a slow week on the waiver wire, it was not a slow week in
On
the
the trade
trade front. Yeah, I'm glad.
All's not quiet on the trade front, like the Western front.
Western front quiet. All right, so first trade that went through this week was between Broach and Ransdale. It was Broach gets Rondale Moore, and Ransdale gets Greg Dulcich.
Greg D. Dulcich. Where did he go to college?
Alabama. Damn, 3 for 4.
I think it was UCLA. I'm not sure.
Oh, then
We
this
don't
doesn't
even know.
count if we don't know.
But if you look his picture up, he looks like Weird Al Yankovic.
Does it?
He does.
Yes.
I gotta look him up. Well, I gotta tell the next one. Actually, y'all talk about that one. I gotta look him up. Greg, is that good trade, bad trade? What do you think?
I don't know.
That's what that was what I was
saw
talking
it.
about earlier. I said with the tight end matchup, we talk about Andrew's team because he's been rolling with Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least it gives him somebody.
I think the one thing that we noticed when we looked at Broach's team was like, Allen Robinson is who we thought he
Not too
was.
much.
Not a trustworthy guy. Who else was not performing very well in his lineup? He had like 2 receivers get a combined 4 points. So I guess he was trying to get wide receiver help, and Rondale could be.
It's the hair and the mustache. The
Far,
face
far
is
away.
It's the hair and the mustache. It's not the facial features.
Oh, okay.
They're not,
Yeah, okay.
they're not the
I just
same.
want to show Mike so I didn't feel like I was crazy.
I'm not saying they're doppelgangers. I'm saying they have similar style.
Okay. So,
Which is not too much.
so I think that does help Broach a little bit on the wide receiver front.
Oh, I wanted Rondell Moore. I think I sent 2 or 3 trades to Andrew for him, but I didn't have anything.
Yeah, I think it helps both teams.
Yeah.
The second trade of the week was between Broach, Everything Burns, and Jake. Broach gets Ezekiel Elliott and Christian Kirk, and Jake gets Jonathan Taylor, first overall pick.
Yes.
Who would have seen that coming?
Did Jonathan Taylor got drafted number 1 or did he get traded?
He gets traded. Beginning of the season, nobody thinks. Nobody thinks first round picks are really getting dealt, especially not 101.
Not 101. Hey, this guy, should I take CMC? No, I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor. He's super good. He's super safe.
Yeah.
Not
Neither
super
one of those has
either.
been true so far.
Not super either. So, Jake, that gives you. All right, so tell us about your trade from your perspective. Because we're sitting with the man right here.
Yeah.
Give us your
So,
perspective.
I mean, since the Hall injury, I've been in pretty big scramble mode within the running back room. I felt like Jamar Chase not going in the IR and even kind of reading some of the progressions, I felt good about him coming back sooner rather than later. With him and Adams, kind of like what I talked about with your team a while ago, kind of reminded me of mine, was like, I really hope those 2 guys are consistently putting up big points for me. And I wanted a more staple RB1. Is that if Tony becomes more involved within the Kansas City offense, I feel good with him. If Keenan Allen somehow ever steps onto the field, if he doesn't, me and you both have gotten...
Inconceivable!
Yeah. Both of us have kind of gotten the next 2 guys up in the Chargers offense, so I could roll with someone like that there. But I really wanted to get someone that didn't come out of my lineup in the running back room. So
Just sit it and forget it.
yeah, well, and I had his backup already after dealing high. It's okay.
Because if somebody's going to copy me, I want to do something stupid to the point where they're not going to copy me anymore. Fair play, huh?
With Hines being dealt, Jeff Saturday coming in, I felt like it was going to be a very run-heavy offense for the remainder of the year. So, heck, man, if I can get like over 10 points a week from him, I'd be happy.
You're happy.
But even when I looked at it, none of my running backs had a 30-point possibility, and I still think he does. I know you disagree, but I think if he's getting the ball 25 times a game and his still athleticism,
I just want to know if he's
explosiveness.
healthy.
That's what I was going to ask.
Well, he's not even on the injury report. They
Well,
said
that doesn't
he
mean
hurt
he's
his ankle,
completely
came back,
healthy
hurt his
yet.
ankle again. If they're out of playoff contention, like when he
So
gets
could
like
he get
15,
he could
16,
get
17,
shut
you worry
down.
about him getting shut
Yeah,
down?
he could get shut down.
Was there
And
any other running backs you were trying to get, or was it just Jonathan Taylor?
Well, no one else was in a position to trade.
Yeah,
So,
I
I go look at the other top guys, and it's like nobody wants Zeke because, like, they wouldn't trust him enough to put him in their lineups at the top end of the board enough. So I had to look for a team that's literally called For Sale, and
Well, that may be a good place to start.
yeah, he needed a wide receiver. I didn't want to get rid of Christian Kirk. I was actually trying to avoid trading Kirk within the deal, but I mean to make it something to get the first overall pick, I had to throw him in. And then you take on Zeke, who's also been on the injury report, who's been a person that's been pretty banged up throughout his career, or not his career,
Past
last two
two.
seasons.
Did it feel like
Yeah.
you gave away one of your kids having Zeke go on another team?
No, because
Okay.
again, Zeke was one of those who I kept telling myself, even when he did well, I hate him. Like I didn't want him on draft night. He had a couple of actually productive weeks. He had like a 15, 17 points.
Yeah,
Like
he was serviceable.
he
was serviceable.
But it scared me with him being injured because they were saying he was healthy during those games, and then Pollard explosion made me like weary of it becoming more of a split, and I did not want. If I felt like there was any chance of me A, making the playoffs, or B, even trying to have a chance of winning a week in the playoffs, I had to have someone that had boom potential.
Yeah.
And I did not feel like I had that at the running back position. So I did the trade to try to get a little.
Jonathan Taylor gives you league-winning upside at the
Yes.
running back position, which you didn't have before the trade.
No. So
Good analysis.
Yeah.
I think I gave him two starters, which from that perspective, he won it. But it gave me something that I desperately needed with, I thought, like a little bit of position flexibility at wide receiver. So, I don't know. That's more for y'all to discuss who you think won it, but I think it was a pretty even trade for both sides.
I think it helps out both teams.
Yeah,
I
it was
think-
a necessity. I mean, I don't think either side won it because I think both sides got better from their weaknesses.
And I think both sides take on a little bit of risk.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think like Ryan said, you get Jonathan Taylor, he gives you league winning upside. You didn't lose that in Kirk or at Zeke.
No.
Neither one of them are going to win, broach the league. JT could put you.
Yeah.
Could put you over the top.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
And then, like he just said, the bust potential, I knew JT could get shut down.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if I had Zeke and Kirk, I maybe squeeze in at the 8 seed. I have I had the idea that I could miss it very easy with the roster I had, especially with the injuries I had to wait for people to get healthy. That I thought if I was going to make a move, I needed to get someone that had that potential. And I couldn't get it off the teams that had those players because what I offered wouldn't have fit in their lineups, where I could offer Broach something that fit in his lineup.
You had an offer on the table that fit his needs,
Yeah.
but I feel the same way about fantasy trades a lot of times that I feel about real life trades is if you get the best player in the deal, you got a chance to have won the trade.
Yeah.
Either way, and Jonathan Taylor is clearly the best player out of those three.
So we'll see how Jeff Saturday looks as the head coach. And
He could be a fish out of water, or he could have that.
I did like his
a running
press
game
conference.
savant, I don't know.
I really liked the
Good
press
press
conference
conference,
while the
two
trade was
He
pending.
could be swimming out of
Could
mud.
be a bird in the water.
Did y'all watch him?
No. I
Where
didn't.
a reporter basically questioned his credentials, and he's like, kind of talks about his playing career and everything like that. He says, I'm a.
Oh man! I'm for it! Yeah! College, yeah! Go, baby! College, Mike Leach!
No,
Is that right?
No, it was Oklahoma State.
Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy!
You got the mic part right.
But he basically said, I'm a developer of character,
Went too
and like
far.
I'm going to uplift men. And he's like, I'm here to win and play, like actually try to compete. And if I suck at this, go 0-8, whatever the remainder of the season is, he's like, I'll salute, say God bless, and walk out. But he's like, I know what I can do. I believe in myself, and I'm here to win freaking football games. So
I'm your huckleberry.
maybe.
Okay.
So
All
we'll
right.
see.
We got one more trade. It is currently
Is
pending.
this one pending? Okay, because it's not showing up.
Yeah,
on
this
here,
one's
right?
pending. This was last night between myself and Scorpion King.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that one. Okay.
So this was Scorp gets Jamal Williams, Brandon Ayuk, and Alexander Madison. I get T. Higgins and Khalil Herbert.
Okay, can I break this down for me? I think you throw Alexander Madison and Khalil Herbert out because I think y'all were just basically flopping handcuffs.
I think
I
Herbert
looked
has a
at it.
little bit more standalone value than Madison, but yeah, I agree.
He does, but I think y'all basically
Yeah.
just swap handcuffs coming up into the playoffs, and then the rest of the trade was T. Higgins for
Jamal
Ayuk
Williams.
and Jamal Williams, which I said earlier, I think Jamal Williams is now the starter in Detroit.
My problem is I got too many running backs. Like I got
Nice problem to have, bud.
well, the way I was looking at it, I was like Saquon, Miles Sanders aren't coming out,
Yeah,
but they're solid in. Tony Pollard, I don't know if he's coming out
right.
because Tony Pollard looks good.
Unless the $100 man goes in that flex.
The $100 man might.
Yeah, I mean,
you
see
got a
what if
lot
it
of
keeps
money
developing.
in him.
Jamal Williams was one of those guys that kind of throughout the season I've been looking to deal because he does have a lot of value
And
He gets red zone carries.
and he gets red zone.
his value's
carries.
not going to get higher. I don't
Right,
think.
yeah.
But it
I don't
could,
think
it
so
could fall off a cliff.
Now I do feel like I gave up quite a bit for T. Higgins, but I want T. Higgins.
But T. Higgins is to the point where he could be the number one the rest of the year if Jamar Chase's body doesn't.
And even
React
if
the
he's
way that we
not,
were
I
thinking.
feel really good with T. Higgins.
See, I think
beside
even as the
Jamar
1B,
Chase.
Actually, I'm
one
going
B on that
to go
offense.
on to like JT side on this and say you want Jamar Chase back because when Jamar Chase was on that field, he was double covered and T was actually
Yeah,
doing
either
better
way, T.
with-
Higgins could be a number one on your
Yeah.
fantasy team.
Like,
You don't need. He's your number
I
three.
think it's one of those where you
Yeah.
want both of them out there because even if Jamar Chase is producing, it's going to open up one-on-ones for T on the other side. He's very good at taking the 10-yarder and making it the touchdown play.
He's either getting more difficult targets, but more targets without Chase, or he's getting
like even
wide
this
open coverage against.
All right,
beating the
I
number
wanted
two
T.
corner.
Higgins. I wanted T. Higgins back in the draft. I
Right.
wanted T. Higgins pretty much all season. I've been trying to put
I've
together
wanted T. Higgins ever since Brian said T. that first time on the podcast.
Just makes you want that.
It really does, man.
I think I drafted
that
T.
actually
Higgins
plays
his
a
rookie
part.
year.
So
I
the
picked him up
The
early.
big thing I want to look at real quick was like what we were just talking about. Like even this past week against the Panthers, I mean, 8 targets, caught 7 of them, and only 60 yards because I felt like he didn't have that safety shade over, so he had to do more work underneath than having shaded safety. And it's more if I can make a catch, I can take it 60 yards for a touchdown. That offense is explosive anyways. I think Joe Mixon getting going is going to make it more versatile. I think it helps bring people back into the box, which opens up more passing yards. And Joe Burrow's returning back to what he looked like at the end of last year. So getting a person from a team that you think is going to be hot in the second half
So
of
hot right now.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm looking at too.
Yeah, that's kind of that.
Go
Like
Scorp.
Higgins and Chase, they're good regardless if that other player is on the field or not. The only receiver on there that's relying on all of them being hurt
Is Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd. If he's the third option, he's not really consistent fantasy option.
Right.
You won that trade.
Well, again, I feel like I gave up a couple pieces that I
Now Jay
really
Willing
like
is going to help out Scorp's team a lot.
Yeah,
but,
and that's
but
what I was-
like you said, you don't have a consistent place to put him.
I don't.
So he was expendable on your team.
Yeah. And again, with Justin Fields coming on, I'm starting to feel pretty good about Chicago. I didn't want Khalil Herbert for the longest time because I'm like, dude, I don't want 2 guys from Chicago.
You wouldn't start them both. It's not like a Kareem
Right, I
Hunt
wouldn't
Chubb
start 'em
situation,
both, but-
you want to know I've got that backfield locked up if they're going to run the football the way they're
Right,
running.
because again, a running quarterback can open things up, running back wise.
Yeah,
definitely. So
He can take some away, but he
Except-
definitely
unless
opens
you're
up
Buffalo.
unless you're Buffalo, yeah, okay. But most of the
Because they don't
time,
like to run the ball at all.
but that was kind of my thinking behind it. So
I like what you had said. Like, I think this really helps out your team because it can solidify that wide receiver 3 / flex. What you've been kind of like back and forth on, and that's a dude who you wanted, and that's your guy. So you went and got him. But then Scorp's team, who's been having a difficult time putting a full roster out there that was producing. I mean, he's got 2 starters in this trade to me because I think
And his
Ayuk's been very
handcuff,
consistent. I think Williams has standalone value, and then like what you just said, injury prone.
You're locking up a backfield.
Yeah, and I think that's like at this point in the season, you better handcuff yourself if you got an RB1 and you're worried about because waivers, there ain't no guarantee that you're going to outbid or that they'll even be on there. I mean, if you go look at the waiver process right now for running back, it's crap. So I like the move for both sides. I think it does help Scorp with 2 of them.
General fantasy question strategy wise. At what week do you start looking at, hey, I need to get rid of some of my depth to maximize my starting lineup?
Right, I've been doing it for like 3 weeks.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can't do it any later than what, next week? Next week's a trade deadline. So,
I think I got
It's
that
like
update, and that kind of made me push. Like, if I go, if I have to run the rest of the season with the roster I have, I don't feel like I can make any noise. And for JT, if I was in JT's position when I look at his trade, JT saying, what do I have to do to win a championship?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter how many points you got on your bench in a playoff matchup.
Yeah.
You don't get those points. Right. But
trade the value to get something substantially better that goes right into your lineup.
Yep.
But then you also run that risk of, hey, if I get guys that get injured week 12,
I get guys that
you
get
lose
injured,
That's the same
that.
thing right now. Like if he loses Tyreek Hill, like that hurts your team.
my
big
team's
time.
But you lose that opportunity to maximize your starting lineup via trade because next week the deadline's over. So you have to take it now.
I agree with what you're
But
saying.
it's a risk reward situation.
You're
And
hurting
I
your
try to do
hand.
it. I try to do it every year. Try to strengthen your starting lineup towards the trade deadline.
And you gotta have guys you just have confidence in.
Sure.
So I mean, you feel good about T. You want to go get him. And like, or if you have someone on your roster who you hadn't been playing enough, and you're like, I think they're going to take that step. Go trade a starter to get better at another position.
Yeah, because
so
you got the $100 man. Just
well,
Dude, I'm telling you, y'all laughing, but $100 man, let's go.
Him and like in my situation,
I'm not laughing. That number 2 overall draft pick quarterback
doesn't
doesn't look good.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, and Josh Palmer again with the whole. I feel like I got some depth at receiver
On
still.
the whole, Palmer looks
Got
good.
some depth at running back. I feel good. I got an open roster spot coming tomorrow morning, so I can pick up a defense. So everything works.
Because you had your IR maneuvering.
Look,
earlier
again,
today.
you got to be creative when you ain't got no money.
You do.
Got to.
So you pick up guys on IR and you stash them and keep picking guys up.
And it wasn't a free agency acquisition budget, but I had to drop Cole Kmet this afternoon, which I did spend money on earlier this week because Josh Allen.
All right.
Josh Allen's like 50-50 to play, so I had to pick up a quarterback.
You do it every
Who did you
week.
pick up?
Brady, because Jake dropped him, I believe.
Yeah,
I was gonna pick up Garoppolo tomorrow morning, and then Andrew picked up
got
Garoppolo this afternoon. I
Drop
was like,
Aaron
well,
Rodgers.
daggum, I'm gonna go
I
ahead
know
and pick up
Brady's
Brady.
passing yards are still up there in the top 5. He's
Passing
had
attempts are.
one game over 20 fantasy.
I
One
don't know
game.
if he's thrown multiple touchdowns, but in like one game. So
Did
they're
you pick up Russ to block? Or just
feel like
No, I picked up Russ because I have bye next week with Tua, and he's going against the worst pass defense.
Is he playing the Chargers?
No,
Raiders?
Raiders.
All right.
So I
I
picked
knew he
him
was
up.
playing somebody
I
in the
looked
division.
ahead
They're
to
all
next
looking
week's
at
bye,
those.
and I didn't want someone to pick him up, and I didn't get him, and then I was scrambling.
You weren't have to worry.
No, I didn't think anyone was really going to go after
Well,
him.
you just got to make. Yeah.
But I mean, what the hell? I might drop his ass anyways. At least I got another quarterback on the.
You got to spend money
But
to
Brady's
drop.
on bye
That's
next
the move.
So that's why Brady's on bye next week. So I dropped
I was
Brady because
looking.
I couldn't use him or Tua next week because they're both on bye, and I had to get another quarterback.
You're not dropping Tua. That's what you dropped Tua.
No, I ain't dropping Tua.
He ain't dropping Tua. This guy pick him up.
Yeah, well.
He likes Tua.
I'll make another trade just to have a roster spot. All right, so week 9 is wrapped up. That takes us to week 10.
Man, you are on it.
All right, so first matchup of week 10 is this guy,
This guy.
the Magic Man, Ryan Robertson, versus
El Diablo.
El Diablo.
Brian of Victim of the System.
The victim.
All right, so original projection for the Fantasy Phenoms, 127. And a live projection of 107 for Victim of the System. Victim of the System had DJ Moore go on Thursday night with a solid 4.9.
And
was
a
solid
tropical
4.9.
storm.
Yeah, in a tropical storm. Obviously, everybody's going to look to the top of the matchup with Josh Allen being questionable, but I'm not. I'm going to jump down to running back 2 for Ryan, starting Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's back!
Dude, it has been a...
He's back!
I've had 3 different players in the past 2 days in that spot, and I need your help.
Clyde.
I actually rolled
Clyde.
with Clyde. I hate A.J. Dillon
Claude,
against Dallas.
A.J.
That's
Dillon, and
terrible.
Melvin Gordon.
Tennessee.
The reason why I was looking at Melvin Gordon, I said, maybe during that bye week they said, hey, let's give this guy a shot.
But dude, Tennessee's defense has been legit.
I know.
They just took
I'm
Kansas
with you.
City.
Tell him who to put in.
Clyde.
Clyde's in.
Clyde.
Clyde.
Leave Clyde in.
Clyde
Leave
played-
Clyde.
He played 17%.
First bowl prediction.
17% of snaps last week.
That's
17%.
The first bowl
What are we
prediction.
doing? 17%?
First bowl prediction.
Do it.
Clyde gets 2 touchdowns? Do your 2 touchdown thing
Dude,
again,
you
please.
can even do 15
do it.
fantasy.
Do it. Do it, you coward.
Nah, he called me a coward. I gotta do it. 2 touchdowns! If I'm wrong, what happens?
It's
the same
it's the status quo of every week. We're always wrong.
Yeah, I like that Clyde start.
I like that
Oh,
Clyde.
man, I don't.
I like
Because he plays
seeing
well
him.
on my bench, and he never plays well in my starting lineup, especially when I drafted him in the first round over Kamara 2 years ago. But I digress.
It's his boy.
It is my boy.
So you got Clyde starting, which, again, I love it. Stephon Diggs is projected at 18.
Ooh, I got a bold prediction.
Okay.
I only want this to count in case Keenum plays. Stephon Diggs is going to go for 25 plus with Case Keenum
Wow.
quarterback. Both of them got a revenge game against Minnesota.
Wow.
Yep.
So
Only
Diggs,
if
He's bringing
Keenum
the skull
plays.
clap.
Diggs for
25 plus. If Keenum,
What was
only
the-
if Keenum
What
plays.
was the
Okay.
miracle called that they
The Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah, Minnesota
Against the New Orleans.
Yes,
Keenum and Diggs.
I forgot all about that scenario until you brought
I
that
think they
up.
said Diggs either his second or third best fantasy performance ever has been with Keenum at quarterback.
Yeah, okay.
So
Bringing out some
Ooh,
stats.
I like it.
Keenum is a very underrated quarterback in my opinion. He's not going to but
He's like the
good with
perfect
Minnesota.
backup guy. Like
He was pretty good with Denver, I guess. He was good with Minnesota. He's okay with the Rams.
I mean, they get the job
He's
done.
fine. I like it. I'm going Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's going to get 18 plus. He's only done it, I think, one time this year. And I wish we went for like 30 something.
Yeah.
All right,
But
18 plus.
Something's got to give with that Detroit pass.
Amon-Ra.
Was it a lie at the beginning of the season? Were they just giving me fool's gold? I don't know. I hope not.
Okay.
Michael Pittman, 15 plus fantasy points.
Ooh, that is bold.
That's really
That is bold.
He better score a touchdown or two.
All right, so we've all got a bold prediction already. I like it. All
He's
right.
going
And
against
they're all on
Vegas.
my team.
Oh yeah, we're coming out hot.
Coming in. Yeah.
Looking at Bryan's side,
Jake, you
there's
said how
one that
many for
stands
Pittman?
out.
15.
15,
I
okay.
didn't really go crazy, but
It is crazy with
It is crazy.
Sam Elliott.
considering he's
Man, I got so excited watching that game on Red Zone the other day. He got I think it was a shovel pass. I think it might have been a run. And he gets right to the goal line. Instead of just going to the pylon and basically trotting in, he tries to dive through a guy to the goal line. They called him a touchdown on the field, but he was clearly down, and he did score the rest of the game. Pretty upset about it.
don't worry, this week he'll get that end zone.
Oh, yeah, for sure he will. 15 plus.
Got to do it because he sure as hell ain't getting over 100 yards and
No,
10
No.
receptions.
not with Ellinger.
All right, I'm calling.
Call it.
Call it.
They
Call your
calling
shot,
me.
dude. Call your shot.
Okay. I'm calling.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
I'm calling DeAndre Swift breakout game right here. Playing Chicago. Chicago's giving up 4.8 yards.
Yeah,
per
they're bad.
attempt.
They're bad.
Yeah, their
And
defense.
it's going to get worse
And
without Roquan.
right.
Those numbers are getting
Right,
worse.
their numbers are getting worse. So I'm calling DeAndre Swift. I'm not saying his best game of the season, but I will say 100 yards combined through
100
the
total
air,
yards.
through on the ground,
You got to throw it
with a
TD.
touchdown.
Just one.
Just a touchdown.
Well, I'll one up him. I think he'll get in the end zone twice.
I think
100 yards
I think
and two
I
TDs.
think Jamal Williams doubles him up. This week,
Whoa.
personally.
Okay, so we got a couple on Swift. All right, let me write all these down.
101 score, two scores, and the 100 yards are just two scores.
Let's just go with the two touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, so we're taking 100 total yards off of him?
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
I'm not that bold.
I'm
I
just
went bold with Michael Pittman.
I'm banking on I dealt Jamal Williams at the right time. That's what I'm banking on in my head. I could be wrong. You're right. Yeah. So Jamal Williams, you're saying doubles Swift?
Yeah, doubles up Swift. Because I think he scores a couple times. But I'm not going to guarantee that, but I do think he doubles them up.
All right, well, I'll write it
I
down.
just need to see Swift get
What about
at
you?
least 10, 15 touches.
What about your boy on
I got a
Sunday
bunch of
night?
Which
Herbert.
Oh, Herbert?
Playing San Fran, division,
Dude,
or not division.
I never
game, but
thought during the course of this season his
Regional
projection would be under 21 points or under 25 points, to be honest with you. I thought he was like a consistent, like almost like what Josh Allen usually sees in terms of projections.
Now, if you lose 3 of your top 4 wide receivers,
I know,
does
but
that not affect how you're going to play?
I
Who's
guess
the
in
third?
some regards.
They the number 3 is Palmer. Number 4 was
Guyton?
Guyton.
Oh, okay,
Guyton,
that's
which
right.
tore his ACL like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I mean, you lost your possession receiver in Allen, you lost your red zone threat in Mike Williams, and you lost your deep threat over the top in Guyton.
That offensive line's been a little shaky too, hasn't it?
Yeah, they lost their all
It's
pro
like a
left.
rookie
They
left-
lost their
it's a
all pro
rookie
left
left
tackle.
tackle, isn't it?
Yeah, he
Right
got
now,
all pro
yeah.
last year, and he got hurt like week 3 or 4, like tore his bicep. And then our right tackle was questionable or doubtful for this game, and they're going against Nick Bosa.
No,
I ain't looking. We're
Not
not
gonna be
looking forward to
pretty.
that game that much, actually. So I'm worried about Herbert. I just want to
Just a lot of
I just wanna stay
attempts,
healthy.
not a lot of like fantasy production for him. This
He's got 2 games over 25.
It's a lot of throws, but they're not high percentage throws they're throwing into traffic or they're throwing to the guy. They're basically, he's dumping it off to Eckler because nobody else can get open.
Do you look at the passing attempts like targets for a receiver? Like, oh, there's, you know what I'm saying? There's potential there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what me and JT.
Oh, they're still letting him sling it, which
Yeah.
is good for his chances, but at the same time, it's
Because it's like
are
Brady,
they
too.
high
Brady's
percentage
throwing the ball
targets?
55 plus times
Yeah.
a game. But
Justin
he's not.
Herbert, 3 touchdowns.
Oh shit!
What?
Y'all talked me into it.
You beautiful genius.
Now I'm usually wrong.
Oh, actually, I meant Khalil Herbert, not Justin Herbert.
If
He's on the team now, so
Well, not yet.
yeah.
Not yet.
I've got one more.
All right.
Sorry, Ryan. I'm going to go. Amari Cooper is going to score single-digit fantasy points. He's on the road.
Oh, you know, I was about to say
He's on the road this
you
week.
doing your home road
Yeah, he's
split.
on the road this week.
And who knows with Miami's defense? Like, at some points
They're
they
not
look
good.
like legit, and then
Yeah.
other points they're like
They look-
anyone can score.
Right, they look bad against Baltimore, look bad against Chicago, look great against Buffalo.
Yeah, you look good when you strike out.
So, yeah, you got a point there. All right, who we taking in this matchup? So who did Bryan take? Bryan
took me, I believe.
Okay, so let me
I'm
write
going to take
these.
Ryan, too.
I mean,
Yes.
Uh,
I think Derrick Henry gets held to.
yeah, this is not a good matchup against a good Denver defense. Well, they got rid of Chubb.
I'm gonna say single digits.
Whoa.
Ooh, that is bold.
Yeah,
I gotta write that.
I was gonna say 15. I was like, well, that's not.
write that in bold.
Well, they're all bold.
But
Now,
this
that was really bold. Yeah.
Well, if he says that, then I can't pick Bryan. So
Well, I mean, don't act like they're right. I think I'm shooting like I don't know as good as I shoot from 3 in basketball, which is about 0%.
Because you don't shoot threes.
I'm right.
You're the
mid-range maestro.
Andre Miller
That's my guy.
of basketball.
That is my
but
guy.
your ERA
pick
is
up
infinity, so
It's 8 that it just fell down. All right.
All right, I'm taking Ryan as
Chill,
well.
chill.
Yep, I'm taking Ryan.
White and unathletic. That used to be the
Ryan, and
Ryan.
Ryan. Clean sweep.
sweet
Yes.
Goes to Ryan.
sweeps.
All right. On to our second matchup for Week 10. We have Jake versus Jordan.
JV Jordon.
All right, so we have a original projection and live projection for both. 107 turd sandwiches, 122 the team with no name, which is again a name.
Beat him, Jake.
All right.
I want to.
Can we go back to this rivalry week thing?
Yeah,
Does
I
this
think,
really-
I think last week was really rivalry.
The reason why it's rivalry week is the team you played week 1,
Mhm.
but I don't think it is.
Rivalry week, I think, was last week.
Rivalry week for us, I think we've gone through it before. It's you playing Jordan, just because that's funny for me.
I've already looked ahead when I play him again.
Yeah. Me playing Jake, I think it was what we had. Him playing JT playing Scorp,
Which I had last week.
and Bryan playing Ransdale, right?
Okay, yeah, last week was a
and then
little
we-
bit different, but I thought last week had
And
some
we used to
pretty
say
good,
Broach and Reitmeyer, but Tyler's in now, so we'll just.
I think Tyler Jake takes that.
Yeah.
Well, who do I got now?
Ransdale, yeah, rivalry,
Learning to walk again.
yeah, that's a
Well, who
rivalry.
does Michael have? Michael, that's the
Yeah,
trash
Broach
talk
last
extraordinaire.
week, which again, yeah, I guess you and Jordan would be the best.
That's right. That's the one I said first.
Okay, all right, okay. Anyways, I digress. Tua, 3 touchdowns for the 3rd straight game.
Yes. That's not gonna
I like
happen.
it.
It's not gonna happen.
Wow.
4 touchdowns.
Oh!
Yes!
Oh,
shit!
whoa.
Do it!
I hate
Do it.
Tua.
Why do you hate him?
I don't hate him
Okay.
because
I like to it.
I don't remember. I was sitting right there when I said, I don't care who the Chargers draft out of the 3 quarterbacks. Give me Burrow, give me Tua, give me Herbert. I'll be happy with all 3.
Okay.
And I think every single one of them has worked out. So I like all 3 of those guys.
Okay. Yeah, I like Tua for 3 touchdowns playing Cleveland. Ooh, it's going to rain, though. This don't matter.
It's Tua.
It's Tua.
Just get the
Tua.
ball
He's
to
not-
freaking Tyreek or
Yeah,
Waddle.
just
Works
get to
out.
him. Yeah, that's all you got to
He
do.
can do the.
It's not a complicated thing. Both those guys still make it look good.
Or-
It's your turn.
Man, that pisses me off
Yeah,
so
like
much.
rock, paper, scissors in the
Watching the Chiefs play, and
it's
he's
his turn.
like, I'm playing against Mahomes, and he just does that little thing. I'm like, that's a rush. That's not a passing touchdown. He's pissed me off. He's just all the time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easy.
How many is that? 3 straight weeks, you said?
3 straight weeks, 3 touchdowns for Tua Tagovailoa.
Do y'all remember those? Like, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago where Ben Roethlisberger had 6 touchdowns, I think, in back-to-back games or something astronomical.
I'm gonna ask if this is
a
bold
long time
enough.
ago.
I think y'all are gonna try to like say no. Tony doubles up his projection, which would be around like 12, 13.
That would be Tony's best game of the season.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say, that's bold.
he ain't going over 10. I can say over 10 and it'd be like
That'd be bold too.
bold.
I'm just gonna say Kadarius Toney double digits.
All right, good, like that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
writing down what Jake said.
No, I changed it to double digits. I really feel like his explosiveness and his versatility gives them something that they hadn't had since Tyreek was there in terms of like playmaker with the ball in his hand.
Well, that's how they've been using McCall Hardman the past couple weeks, and McCall Hardman's been really good, but now McCall Hardman's hurt.
Well,
so
that's what I'm kind of
saying.
hoping
That's
on.
what I'm saying.
I'm
Tony
hoping-
might take on
and
more of
I
that
think
role.
if Tony takes that role, it could be his for the remainder
he's probably
of
not
the
giving
season.
it back because Tony's more talented, I
Yes.
believe, than Hardman
And
is.
he is
yeah.
explosive with the ball in his
But
hand.
Tony could also find himself suspended for the rest of the year
He really is trying
at
to get
any
Tyreek.
time.
That's true.
I mean, so he's a lot like, to me, he's a lot like AB.
I mean, Tyreek got kicked out of Oklahoma State, so maybe they're the same.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
He ended up going to like some small
West Alabama.
JUCO or West Alabama. There you go.
They're killing it today.
College man.
Check this guy out. I'm like 5 for 6.
I am the smartest man alive!
Hey, I like it. I
That
like
you
it.
are.
We got a couple of quarterback / big targets on the opposite side. So like Carr and I got Adams. I think he picked up Carr to try to cancel out what Adams could do. But I think
Adams for Waddle straight up.
I think Adams outscores Carr.
Who says no?
What?
Adams for Waddle straight up.
I don't want to do that.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
That-
I
It's
mean,
not a
Jordan-
bad one. I just like the target load that Devontae gets.
You like Adams load? I got you.
Yeah, we heard you. We heard you. So you're saying Adams?
Outscores Carr.
Let me look at Mr. Cole.
Adams outscores Carr.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Is that worth it?
I'll write it down.
We'll do it.
Dude, I need to stop doing these because all mine are wrong, and now I'm just like hyping up my team.
Yeah, that's why I try to not.
I'm trying to make myself feel better about my matchup because I'm like, it's not really going to be a good chance. But if this happens to happen, I can actually win. You're going to win, Jordan.
You're gonna win, Jordan.
Let's see. What do I want to do? I don't really know if I have any bold prediction for Jordan. I think Jordan's going to be
What
pretty
about
much
Claypool?
around.
What do y'all think about Claypool? Because I talked about him kind of being offered in a trade and in Chicago with Fields kind of coming into his own. Y'all?
I don't like either one of the flex matchups.
They're playing Detroit. Detroit sucks on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, they suck through the air too, but they really struggle on the ground. So I think this may be a little bit more running back heavy.
And with Fields only throwing like 15 times a game, there's not.
Yeah, I
ton.
say running back heavy, but just running.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
just in
Like, but
general.
Yeah.
if he's a new wide receiver on the team, and he's probably what, 3rd or 4th on the
So he's definitely behind
Okay.
Mooney and Komet.
yeah,
And
then
Komet's
pro-
more just red zone.
and probably the running backs too.
Yeah.
So, and Equanimous St. Brown, is he completely gone?
I don't know.
That's Amon-Ra's brother.
Yeah, I think he's still there.
Where did he go to school? This guy's 0 for 1.
Is it
No,
Notre
I do
Dame?
think he's still there.
I don't know.
No.
I have no clue.
Maybe it was Notre Dame. That just said that.
I thought St. Brown went to. I
The,
know it
the
wasn't
Packers,
Monroe,
the
but I thought
Packers
it.
drafted him. I don't remember where they came out of, but I'm just saying, like, there's not a lot of passes to go around, so I don't know if Claypool has enough shots to be productive. And I don't know about Nico Collins because if I'm Houston, I'm running the ball every single snap with Damian Pierce.
Yeah, I don't really know about that either.
But if Brandon Cooks doesn't play, which it doesn't look like he's going to, he could be the first option.
Did he go to Notre Dame?
Hey, you're 1 for 1.
My man, look
Hey,
at him.
everybody gets lucky.
You know where Chase
Dude, we
Claypool
sound
went?
really educated on college football today.
Do what?
Claypool was a. I know this one.
I don't know this.
Well, think about where he was drafted.
Pittsburgh.
Where did he go to college?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's what you're saying.
Dang.
Pretty sure he went to Notre Dame too, didn't he?
He did go to Notre Dame.
It was Notre Dame. I didn't know who it
They
was.
both went. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't really have any other projections for this one. Predictions.
No.
Prediction.
All right. So who we taking?
I'm taking Jordan.
Yeah, I'm
The
taking.
team with no name.
I'm taking Jordan. And
Taking
see him lose
Jordan.
again.
Jordan.
When I pick against Jordan, my weekly picks are terrible,
Yeah.
and I don't think I picked Jordan until like 3 weeks ago. Bryan took Jordan as well. So we've got Bryan took Jordan, I took Jordan, Jake took Jordan, JT, Michael.
I'm gonna take Jake.
Way to go out on a limb, big guy.
I'm gonna take Jake.
It's a 50-50 thing.
I'm gonna take Jake, and I'm gonna say that.
Trey, who you got, big dog?
Give me. Yeah, give me Jake.
All right, look at
You didn't see that coming, did you?
Did not.
That's how you make moves.
Well, I do like Kadarius Toney. I do like Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep.
I guess the only thing for me, Jake, would just be that flex.
The only reason I went with him is because I don't know if they're going to play Cooks because he's said he don't want to be there and is frustrated by it. And if he returns, I think he could be wide receiver 1, even though they don't really throw the ball that much. Yeah. So it's more of like I took it because of opportunity. Yeah. And you go tell me who else you would even pick up off waivers to even like consider starting. Because trust me, I've looked. The only other one
Cole Kmet's back on waivers.
Well, him and Peoples-Jones was the other one I looked at. But I don't know if they're really that much more potential than at least Nico's got number 1 receiver target opportunity, where everyone else on there is like Jarvis Landry, who ain't played since week 4. Cole Kmet, tight end, maybe has a good week, but I mean,
there's nothing out there.
So, I don't know. It was, I just
only other one I would even think of. You gotta go down a little bit, but Darius Slayton. That'd be my only other one.
Yeah, I'm banking on Wandale taking that over after the bye, but Darius Slayton's been the most productive wide receiver the Giants have had.
Yeah.
So that would be my only other option for you. But yeah, I'm gonna take Jake.
I like the dart throw on DeAndre Carter though, just for the simple fact that
I like the throwing attempts. He's a slot, and JT already had Palmer, which I would rather have in that situation. But I think they both could be very productive in their roles.
We can make a trade.
Tyler had the perfect line at the draft. He said, "I'm drafting the number 1 wide receiver handcuffed." He said that at the draft when Tyler drafted Josh Palmer.
Yeah,
but he didn't keep him.
But
the strategy was there, and the situation actually played out where one of them didn't get hurt, both of them got hurt.
Yeah.
And he's been very productive. But
have a touchdown. All right, so for our third matchup, we have Tyler versus Michael.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah. So we have an original projection of 120 for Autonomy is American. We have an original projection of 105 for the league versus me. Give me. I don't know what to think.
It's like, we're gonna break it down a little bit.
I don't know what to think about Gabe Davis. Really, either way. But I really don't know what to think about him if Case Keenum plays.
Yeah, I don't.
If Case Keenum plays, I want.
If Case Keenum plays, he doesn't have near the explosiveness. Because I mean, it's basically that 9.9 projection is. Well, we don't know if he's going to get 3. We don't know if he's going to get 20.
Yeah.
So we'll just basically put it in the middle.
I think I kind of like Mac Hollins this week.
I kind of like Mac Hollins.
I mean, Renfro and Waller are both on IR.
Yeah, they're out for minimum of 4.
So you got to think, okay, well, they're not coming back anytime soon, so I got to get somebody else involved other than
who's going to get those other 7 passes that don't Which Hollins was running ahead of Renfro when Renfro was healthy.
Yeah, he's had a couple games where he's looked good.
He has.
It also helps that he's 6'4", 220.
That does
whatever he is. I mean,
so
he's a big old
I might pivot to Hollins here.
That's why I put Davis in the flex because he's not locked in. I just wanted to, for projection purposes, for the
Trig's not used to setting the lineup this early.
I'm not.
We put a lot of pressure on him.
I said it on the way here.
All right, does Justin Fields replicate his 53-point game?
No.
I think he's gonna get. I think he's gonna get 30. That's not bold, but I think he's gonna get
30.
Justin Fields for 30?
Against Detroit? Yeah, put it down. That's bold.
I mean,
30 plus.
I think the past 2 weeks he's definitely like QB1.
Yeah.
He's put up 30 and 53.
Yeah, 30, 53, and then the game before that was 25. Game before that was 20. So I mean, he's trending up. He's had more fantasy points than the previous week, going all the way back to week 3. Week 3, 4. Week 10, 10. Week 5, 19. Week 6, 20. Week 7, 25. Week 8, 30. Week 9, 53.
Week 6,
he might go for
68.9, which rounds up to
69!
Yeah.
What if he put up 68 this week?
What if he did, though? What if he did?
Somebody go out on a limb and call it.
Oh, by the way, we didn't go through this. I put the bold prediction of Travis Kelce last week at exactly 16.5 or whatever it was. I did the whole thing where I just had dyslexia, so I was one number off.
Half right, all wrong.
I know, but we're just talking about close things.
I'm excited also about George Pickens. With Claypool going out, with the bye, So
20 plus
again,
this week.
Did you?
Whoa! Hey,
I mean,
call your shot.
George Pickens 20 plus.
20 plus. Sorry.
20 plus.
I mean, they could have recalibrated the whole thing. Like, hey, we need to get this guy involved.
Yeah, I mean they traded Claypool for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then again, I mean
Pickens
Pickens has
has
shown
such
some
big
promise.
play potential, if that like makes sense. I hate how it's either like I feel like he's a big game or complete
Yeah.
no
Oh,
shit.
he's
Like,
boom or bust.
it's not like he's like, well, he got me 5 this week, but the next week gets me 25. It's like 25 or 0. You
Like, I feel like he's
There's
got a
no
lot of
He's
young.
like a lesser Gabe Davis.
I feel like he's got a lot of young Dez Bryant to his game. Now the offense isn't built around him like Dez's was when Dez
Yeah.
was there, but he looks very.
He's
similar
got some
to
good
me.
matchups coming up, and I know Tyler had sent me a trade for him, and that was one guy that I was like, nah, I'm not getting rid of Pickens. I like his schedule coming out of that bye.
yeah.
And their defense is bad, so they're going to be trailing.
Well,
All right,
they did get better getting T.J. Watt back this week.
Yeah, that was.
So
Now
maybe
you
if
see-
they are competitive, now you can see more of a, I don't know, complete game for offensively from them, where they're not just in full like we're behind, we're chunking it, we're not balanced, we're not good.
Yeah, I mean they're just not scoring. I mean they move the ball okay,
Yeah.
but they're just not scoring touchdowns.
Give me Travis Etienne. Give me Damian Pierce
Well, you can't have.
What
them.
are you
have to
offering?
give them something in return.
for.
You better go over 30.
Are you doing
better go over
combined?
35.
Yeah, I'm going over 30.
You better go like 40. Go 40 piece. If you do it, I'll match it.
45.
I like it.
I don't
Match
match
it.
that.
Match it. No, you said you'd match it.
No, I said 40. You went too high.
You said 45.
45.
I'll take the under there, Bob.
Yeah. So what?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you will. Hey, sweet puppy.
45.
Does
I
Aaron
love
Jones
that.
bounce back this week?
Nope.
Playing Dallas? I'm going to
Yeah,
say
I'll
no
take-
either.
yeah,
too.
I'll take
I was
the
gonna
under
say,
on that.
Until it happens a
I'll take
couple
the
weeks in a
under on
row, I'm just gonna say Green Bay's offenses.
I mean, again, he's had good games, but it's just like good game, bad game, good game, bad game, good game, bad game, bad game, bad game, good game, bad game.
Has anyone made the Godwin for a touchdown yet?
Nope, got it, Dibs.
I already called it.
Let's
You
all
asked the
go
question.
in.
You didn't make a
Let's
prediction.
go round table Godwin touchdown.
Let's
Godwin.
all
Are you
put our
in?
heads
I'm in.
together.
Look, we're all in.
I mean,
All in.
all in.
Brian didn't do it though. Brian doesn't think he's gonna do
No,
it.
Brian, trust me.
Brian's in.
I'm connected with Brian.
Sounds gay. You got anything like that on your
It's like a
It's called Alliance Hello. That's all I got.
That's the best you got?
like a.
Yeah, I didn't know what I was saying. What's it called? Soundboard?
Yes.
Yeah, that thing. All right, so we're taking Godwin for a touchdown. Me and Jake going 45 for ETN
I'm
and
glad you
Pierce.
just kidding.
You said you was matching, so I put you in on
All
that.
right, I'll just go bold.
There you
Which
go.
one on the
On the-
45?
Yep.
Yep. I don't feel as good about it just because of Pierce's matchup, but I do think ETN can help carry that a little bit.
I think ETN will be the higher
Yeah.
scorer out of the two, but Houston there only got a whole lot of options. So they had 139 rush yards last week.
is gonna have a big week.
You hear this?
Yeah.
He's all in.
Oh, Lee Star
Lee-
John over there.
Lee Star John.
Is it 2.0 if he does it though? Because did Lester Jean ever have a good game?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I can check that while y'all are talking.
I don't know if you can. Your search for Z yields no results.
Les Star
Lee Star Jean. JT's Lester Jean, man. Calm down.
Yeah, but Les Star
He's from Mississippi or something.
He had a total for his career of 10 receptions, 186 yards, and a touchdown.
He
He
played
had
one
20
game.
He had 24.6.
If he played one game, that's legit, but I don't think he did. I think
Let's
he played.
almost see what his best game was.
This is off the rails, deep inside baseball type talk. But
Game. Okay, I can check on this while y'all doing y'all's thing.
okay, what's our thing,
Talking fantasy football.
Mr. Host Man?
All right, yeah, you're right. I got no more bold predictions. I am also interested in one more thing on your team, Michael. With Leonard Fournette, I know you traded for him last week. I just don't really know what to expect. Last 3 games, he's had 8 attempts, 9 attempts, 9 attempts. Held to under 24 yards in all 3 of those. His usage just seems to be all over the place.
air.
Yeah.
His value is in the passing game right now.
Yeah, well, so that's the only thing that's keeping him Round 10
It really
points.
is. I mean, he's had a couple touchdowns rushing. I know he's had a couple receiving as well.
Anyone else notice Michael's one running back away from having Bryan's backfield?
You just need Derrick Henry.
I would gladly do that. If you're
What
listening,
if you sent back and, all right, I'll send you Fournette and Kamara
for Derrick
for
Henry.
Henry.
I don't think he wants either one of them anymore.
I know he doesn't.
I think Kamara has a bounce back week, though.
Now, what do y'all think about Higbee if Stafford doesn't play? Would you pivot to Evan Ingram? Because Stafford, I think, is in concussion protocol.
He is. Yeah, I probably would. Higbee hadn't really been involved much in the passing game past few weeks.
I mean, Higbee was super heavily targeted at the beginning of the year. It was 11 targets, 9 targets, 4, 14, and 10.
And then
And
two,
since then,
6,
2,
and
6,
1.
and 1. That's not ideal.
Yeah, for the past 3 weeks combined, he has 3 receptions for 22 yards.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised that he doesn't have CeeDee Lamb over Aaron Jones. Like, to me, that's the easy change in the lineup.
Which I feel like, I don't know if he's updated his lineup.
He has a little bit because I've been.
Yeah, he's
Because
pretty
I feel like
committed.
he's still got Geno in over Dak.
Maybe he likes the chances, but I like
might.
I
And he's
like
got
Prescott
CD.
more against a bad Green Bay defense.
Yeah, I'd probably go Prescott. Or not Prescott. I'd probably go
You like
CJ.
Geno?
But I'd go CD because Dallas
I'd
got
probably
one of the
get
best
Geno.
run defenses, don't they? It's
Yeah.
hard to,
I mean, their defense is just solid.
Yeah,
Their
their
defense is
Dallas' defense is legit.
Yeah, I feel like CD should be in there. Maybe he's gonna make that.
But
change.
there's a red cloud beside that game. What's it saying? Sleet with a high of 37. So there's that.
That can
Maybe
affect the
keep
passing
it on the
game.
ground.
Yeah, they might keep it on the ground. And
Maybe
Aaron
Pollard
Jones-
starts.
Pollard start.
Oh, he's in.
We ain't got there yet.
All right, so who we taking in this matchup?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tyler too. Like Michael said a while ago, I think his team's very
Pretty
dangerous.
good.
And it's
Yeah,
getting
his team
it's
is.
getting
Who'd
better.
Brian take?
Brian took Tyler.
I'll take Tyler as well, so that makes a clean sweep for Tyler.
Sorry, man.
It's okay.
Mike, you've had some good luck when it comes to teams going against you and not putting up a whole lot of points.
You beat me.
Yeah, I looked at. I was
You
like,
beat me that way.
I was like, I'm at 937 points for on the season. That's the lowest in the league.
And you in fourth place.
Yeah,
So something's going your way.
Something is. I don't know what it is.
I lost to you and I lost to Jordan. Stupid. I hate losing to Jordan.
I know.
But
That's
it happens
worst.
every year. Jordan beats me.
To the playoffs.
Every time. I don't play him in the playoffs. When I do play him in the playoffs, he beats me.
Okay, well, never mind. All right, fourth matchup. We have JT versus Ransdale.
JT.
Oh, man.
Right.
Battle of the balls.
All right, so we have a live projection of 123 for Cult of Personality, down defense right now, with a live projection for Smith Houston the Jujus at 121.
Foreman looked good again.
Foreman did look good again. 130
Atlanta.
yards,
Yep,
touchdown.
it was Atlanta.
Playing Atlanta.
Apparently, that's the thing we try against.
Yeah.
Dude,
So against Atlanta, he's got what, like 350 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns or something?
Yeah.
I don't know what his numbers are exactly, but
he can only play Atlanta.
Stupid.
Stupid good.
Stupid good.
I don't know, man. I didn't watch the complete game, but I thought every running back that got in there had
You can
the
run
same
Atlanta.
running side. It was not a patient wait for a hole to be there. It was catch it. You better be downhill when it touches your gut.
Even
They-
what's that?
Shooter
Black
Hubbard.
shear?
Black shear.
Yeah.
Black is that the third string? Black shear.
They look good too.
Yeah, all three of them came in. They controlled the line of scrimmage. I know that it didn't show last week because of the absolute melee that happened in Cincy, but I think that offensive line has been getting progressively better throughout the course of the year. Bozeman at center, I think he's looked really good. If you
Oh,
watch
that
most
was
of
a
the
lot of fun.
if you've been watching a lot of the plays when they are runs, he's like continuously blocking people downfield. And Quandu's gotten better according to like a lot of experts who grade out tackles every week, saying he's been looking better. And
Moten's solid.
yeah,
Urban's solid.
yeah.
I don't know who the other guard is you got from
It's Christensen.
Corbett? Or it's Christensen.
Yeah,
playing,
the
okay.
BYU guy that was there with.
Yeah, you got second
that
round,
was-
third round pick. Yep.
So I do feel like that's something if you're looking foundationally moving forward, like Foreman's value doesn't really, like, I don't know, decrease as much just because you got a pretty good offensive line. Quarterback's still a little shaky. I don't know if he's going to be over a 100-yard rusher every week, but he is the goal line back. And
Besides
that's
against
what it is.
Cincinnati, they've been staying in games a decent amount enough where they
Yeah.
don't have to abandon the run. Cincinnati game, that was just a
Want to talk about a dude who I think could go off this week's
not really.
Christian McCaffrey.
Playing the Chargers.
That could be a bloodbath.
It
That could be like a 40-6
Dude,
type game.
I think Christian McCaffrey goes for 30.
In a loss, hopefully.
To who? Not the Chargers.
It's the only team he plays this week.
So CMC 30 plus for Jake.
I might be.
I got a bold.
All right, let's
I'm
hear
gonna
it.
go. Saquon's gonna outperform week 1. He's gonna get over 30.4.
Ooh.
And
So he
the
would've
worst
worked
run
30
defense
piece
in the
too.
league.
They are the worst run defense.
Yeah, we saw what Derrick Henry did. So
Well,
this is Derrick Henry.
yeah,
Saquon's not far behind.
He goes like 200 plus every time he plays
Yeah.
Houston. So
I really like your running back matchups this week, Trogdon.
Thank you.
Like what he just said, and then I think Miles Sanders on Monday night is going to have probably close to 20 fantasy points. Feel pretty solid about that. I don't want to call it because I don't want to give an actual number, but I feel like
do it,
those
you
two.
coward.
I think those two combined. Can I go 45 and be good?
Sanders Barkley?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. And I'm making way too many bold predictions. I'm already at like 70.
What if you get them all right though?
That'd be fucking.
Dude, I mean,
How many did you say, Jake? 45 plus.
45.
Wow. I got a bold prediction. Kyle Pitts sucks.
Not bold.
Yeah, it won't let me write it.
It's not allowing it.
What do y'all think of Jeff Wilson this week?
I think Debo puts up his best game of the season. What is his best so far?
Probably it's
20.7.
crazy, yeah. So Debo, best game of
You can say Debo 20
season.
plus. It's
Oh,
easier to type.
I wrote the whole thing. All right.
Debo!
He does have that double up of Garoppolo and Debo and McCaffrey, so
A lot of 49er investment there.
if San Fran puts up some points, Ramsdale's going to put up some points.
Yeah. That's really what
I mean, it's,
you're going to be concerned with in the matchup is the 49ers.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know the other guys will contribute and have some points, but they're the big play guys for them this week. At quarterback, number 1 wide receiver, and best running back. Like, if that team goes off for 40-some
if
points
we
in
have
the
a
game and
repeat
they're
of
responsible,
when Andrew had the Denver quarterback, number 1 wide receiver, number 1 tight end situation when he had a couple.
We could be in trouble.
Who's Stafford's backup?
It's somebody garbage. Who was it?
Oh, man, I saw this the other day.
I know you would never sit Cup.
Is
but
he
I
got a
think
clear
John
concussion?
something
temper
maybe?
expectations if Stafford didn't play?
If Stafford doesn't play, I'll be happy if Cup's in double digits.
Is it John something?
it's still Cup, man.
Yeah,
Like,
who would you?
who would
sit
you
on
throw
the
the
ball?
ball?
I'm just like
John Walford? Okay.
If he comes in, who are you going to throw the ball to? I'm going to throw it to 10 because I ain't throwing it to freaking Allen Robinson. So
what if Allen Robinson is his guy though? What if it is Allen Robinson?
What if Cam Akers goes off? That ain't gonna happen, but just saying what if, you know? We're throwing out stupid stuff.
who are they playing?
Arizona.
I guess they're pretty bad. I might go pick up Cam Akers and start him this week. I don't know.
Stacking.
Or JT picks up Arizona's defense.
I don't know. I
No,
don't know
Broach
who
already
I'm
won
picking.
$1 on
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
Broach.
did he?
I don't know who I'm
I don't
picking
look at
defense-wise. I dropped the Giants. I kind of want them back, but I ain't going to be able to get them.
you get him?
I ain't going to be able to.
Was the waiver
Probably.
done processed in 1 day or something?
Let me check on that. But
Because waivers, if you drop somebody on a Saturday, they can't get processed for 2 days, right?
Yeah.
It says
You wanna
11-13.
You
So
wanna
that's
Wednesday,
the morning.
Monday,
That's
or
the
Monday,
morning.
yeah, I
tomorrow
guess
morning,
maybe.
so maybe I pick
Unless
them
they're
back
live,
up.
I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
If not, New Orleans against Pittsburgh in a rain game could be a pretty good
Or
opportunity.
Pittsburgh against New Orleans in a rain game.
Pick up the Chargers against San Fran.
Or San Fran.
Are they open?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
What are y'all doing?
I'm gonna outbid you.
Go ahead.
I'll put your 0 bid against my 0 bid.
You son of a...
Yeah, I'm just going to pick up whoever I got a good feeling about in the morning. So, there we go.
Stuck going on.
Better hope it's not that Germany game.
I ain't picking them up.
What time does that start?
9:30.
I think it's 9:30.
Nice.
All right, so who we taking?
I'm taking JT.
I'm taking JT.
No,
I'm taking Ransdale.
I'm not. I'm taking Ransdale. I forgot about the San Francisco.
Yeah, I'm taking Ransdale.
I'm
I don't get Higgins this week. He's on bye, so my lineup is as it is.
well,
Except
other
for
than
defense.
defense.
Yeah.
I like the Pollard over Wilson, and I called your 2 running backs.
But who said CMC for 30?
Also,
That was you
Yeah,
too,
I
right?
did. That's why I'm
Hey,
making a
who'd
lot of
Brian
noises.
take?
Brian took
JT.
JT.
Okay.
So, JT, you went Ransdale?
Mm-hmm.
You
No, yeah, he went Ransdale. I went
I
Ransdale.
took JT.
So is it 2-2 and I'm the decider?
You're the decider.
It's not the decider, it's your vote. You said you took JT?
I like Tua, so I'm going JT.
Hey, there we go.
Great pick. He caught him for 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so me and JT with Ransdale.
That's going to be a good
Everybody else
matchup,
takes
man.
JT.
It is gonna be a good
I think
matchup.
that could be
JT,
both of y'all barely.
man up and don't start a defense.
Holy
Try.
shit.
Yeah, but then if I lose,
And you could
that doesn't help me.
I get a bigger gap, hopefully.
Then no.
Yeah.
That's dumb.
Who knows?
All right, so that takes us to our Week 10 matchup of the week.
My dub.
Broach versus Scorp.
All right, where's that one? There she is.
So we have a live projection for Everything Burns at 108. We have a live projection of 103 for Scorpion King. And you know what we do for match of the week, Jake?
Position by position breakdown.
Yes, we do.
I always like you saying that. All right, so quarterback matchup is Trevor Lawrence for Everything Burns versus Pat Mahomes of Scorpion King. Who you taking?
Patrick Mahomes. Next question.
They are playing each other, yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, next question.
Yeah, I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes.
The only chance I think Lawrence has is if Kansas City gets up by a lot and it's just a bunch of garbage time. But if Kansas City gets up by a lot, it's probably because Mahomes is throwing touchdowns.
Or Clyde Solaire goes off.
It'll probably be dump off passes to him because he doesn't.
Dump.
score on the ground.
I had
What was that now?
That was new. I've never seen that before.
I'd see
Yeah, I like
touchdowns.
it.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that joke. Okay, if we look at
Videotape
the
that,
receiver matchup, we've got A.J. Brown, Rondale Moore, and Christian Kirk going for Mr. Broach. We have Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, and Deontay Johnson. I would imagine that, again, Ayuk will probably slide into that either wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 3.
Well, Khalil Herbert won't be on his team.
Herbert will be
right?
going too.
Right? I imagine Jamal Williams will go there.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say Deontay Johnson scores his first touchdown of the year. I know you went Pickens earlier. I'm gonna go Johnson.
Yeah, you are. Okay, boy.
Let's see. I'm going to look at one real quick.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Let's see. Who would you start between Ayuk, Thielen, Johnson? You got to pick 2 of those.
What were
Johnson and Ayuk.
What were those numbers again?
Thielen, Johnson, Ayuk. Who would you take between those 3? You got to pick 2.
I'm
Johnson.
starting
Ayuk,
Ayuk.
Johnson,
probably.
Ayuk.
I'm definitely putting Ayuk in.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Because I think with Hawkinson there,
coming off the
I think it
Thielen,
hurts
Thielen is not as necessary at the
Yeah.
goal line.
Yeah, I kind of feel the
Because it
same
used to be
way.
just Thielen was, he's a goal line threat because they're double or triple.
Go score
Jefferson,
touchdowns.
he's going to score those little short touchdowns. With Hawkinson there now, I don't think that's a guaranteed role.
wide receiver matchup.
It is.
It is.
Because
a
if
tough-
you're looking at it after the trade, like with the Ayuk inputted into that wide receiver for Thielen, I think it makes it pretty
even.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, you don't know exactly what you'll get from Rondale. He's been pretty consistent as of late, but I mean, still going to be mainly going to.
If Rondale's in the slot, though, he's been extremely productive because that's what he's
10,
got him on
19,
his team. But
yeah.
that's what Christian Kirk lit up teams last year was in the slot with Arizona, and he's basically taking that role over. And then Christian Kirk, that double up with Trevor Lawrence, possibly a lot of garbage time could be.
I'm going to take Broach with wide receivers.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Broach as well.
I think I'm going to go Scorp, though, because I think Deontay's going to do well. And I think Mike Evans scores twice.
Ooh.
In Germany.
Ooh.
Mike Evans.
I just wanted to say Germany so I could use my 9.
All right, Ryan, Mike Evans, 2 TDs. All right, that takes us to the running back matchup. Running back matchup looks like Nick Chubb, Devin Singletary, and Ezekiel Elliott. Going against Dalvin Cook, Cordell Patterson, who went on Thursday night. And, again, I imagine that Jamal Williams will slide into that flex.
I'm taking Broach pretty strong here.
What do we think Devin Singletary looks like if Allen doesn't play? Do they run the same offense where it's still throwing a lot, or does he get a lot more carries?
I think he gets some more touches.
I think Nick Chubb outscores both of his running backs. Just because Cordell put up 2.5, I mean, that's not a huge gainer. And then Buffalo's got a really good defense, in my opinion. So I think Chubb against Miami, who continuously just gave up 178 rushing yards to a quarterback.
Now the difference is, does Miami get up by a lot and it's all Kareem Hunt and Chubb gets played off the field?
So.
You know what I mean? That's,
I was gonna say, I feel like it's a Kareem Hunt game.
that's the thing.
I feel like game script wise is going to set up for Kareem Hunt. But.
If Cleveland can stay within striking distance of teams, you can play Chubb the entire game and he's dominant. But if they get blown out in the first quarter, it kind of phases them out of the game completely. So it's what you think's going to happen to win.
Are we going flex versus flex, or are we putting that in?
We'll do flex versus flex because I don't think either one of them is going to be. Well, I guess
he's got Zeke locked in there.
He's got Zeke locked in, and then again,
but Zeke's questionable. What's his say?
He's still battling back from the injury that kept him out before the bye.
Yeah, they still don't know a whole lot.
If he's breathing, he's playing. That's what Jerry Jones said.
Well, I think
but say it's just Jerry Jones saying it too.
I know.
But the Cowboys themselves are like, he's a game time decision. I don't know if he is.
Beat writers say closer to a game time decision.
Yeah. So that's like showing coaching staff and ownership are like, look, we don't really want to play him. Like Pollard's our guy, and owner's like, I'm paying that dude too much for you.
See, it bothers me though if he's still questionable coming off of a bye.
Yeah,
I think he's still got another one.
All right, give me Broach's running backs. Give me Devin Singletary for his best game of the season if Josh Allen is not playing. It is a
19.6 is
so that'd be a 20-pointer.
Yeah. Forecast: rain and snow with a high of 40.
Oh, if it's snow, give me Stephon Diggs though.
Well, there you go.
I made that call for you.
All right, you said
Shady McCoy
Singletary. We have two predictions in here about Bills players without Josh Allen doing very well.
All right. So yeah, give me.
You said with Keenum doing what?
But
best game of the year.
Yeah,
for Singletary, if Keenum plays. But the same thing. I mean, Dalvin Cook's playing Buffalo as well. I just think Buffalo's defense is better.
Buffalo's defense is not contingent on Josh Allen not playing.
Yeah.
Right, but again, rain and snow. I do think that helps offense more than it helps defense.
I think there's
it helps LaShawn McCoy more than anybody else in the league.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
If you got LaShawn McCoy in the snow, just book him for 40 points.
But yeah, with Patterson getting 2.5,
it's just tough uphill battle,
yeah.
and I don't know if Dalvin has that capability to go for 30.
What's the
I
weather
don't
in
know if he
Germany?
does either.
Not this. In years past, I
What's
have,
the
but
weather?
I haven't seen
Yeah.
it yet this year. So that's why I'm going Broach
Is that a
pretty
dome?
strong there.
Tampa, Seattle. Is that a dome?
Tampa, Seattle.
In Germany.
I have no idea.
I don't know where they're playing.
I don't keep
Like for the most part, they
German
play
stadiums much.
Yeah, they play in London all the time, so we know that hey, they're playing in a soccer stadium. I don't know what it is.
I got nothing for you, Ron.
Okay.
All right, so that takes us to the tight end matchup of T.J. Hawkinson versus George Kittle.
Give me Hawkinson all day.
Yeah,
Give me
pretty
TJ.
pretty strong one.
Because everybody else in San Francisco is going to score against the Chargers. I don't know if Kittle's going to have enough to go around.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there gonna be
he might see a
enough
lot
to
of
go
maybe
around?
McCaffrey throws it to him.
Well, no, he might see a lot of Derwin James. Is what I'm saying.
I'm
So,
taking Kittle in that.
if I'm a quarterback, I'm not throwing Derwin James, but I'll throw with those corners all day.
Yeah, that's the issue. Is like he's gonna have the one defender in the secondary you don't want to go.
Yeah,
against.
it's either Derwin's going to be on him or they're going to have him on McCaffrey coming out of the backfield. But
It's like,
it's easier to
hey
line up against
JT,
tight
you're a
ends.
good basketball player, but you're being guarded by Dennis Rodman in his prime. Like,
Give me the ball.
Ryan's not
Okay.
that good, but he has
Deep conversations.
He's lulling him to sleep.
What's he doing?
All right, so again, flex, Ezekiel Elliott versus, I would imagine,
We
Jamal
think it's going to be
Williams.
Jamal Williams. I'm taking Jamal.
Yeah, I'm taking.
Yeah, I'll take
Jamal.
Jamal on that all day.
Well, even though Green Bay did lose Rashawn Gary, which is their best run defender.
Who does he flex to without if Zeke gets announced out?
If Zeke
Allen Robinson.
Yeah, I'm taking.
is that the
whoever.
option?
Allen Robinson, Jahan Dotson, or Allen Dotson.
He's got K. Dotton.
But K. Dot, I think Cameron Brake came back before
Oh, okay.
practice. If I started K. Dot a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
The only reason I did is because Brake was out. But if Brake's there, it's just too many mouths to feed in Tampa Bay. Especially when
Maybe
Mike
he's
Evans
feeling
is
ballsy
so
and he
quiet.
doesn't play a flex.
Oh.
JT won't not play defense.
Yeah, because that seems like a bad strategy.
What if they got
Not
that?
if you win.
I've done it before on a Monday night. I've got the lead. I'll bench my flex player.
What a
But just
douchebag.
Hey,
worked out.
he didn't want him to get hurt. I took him out.
Yeah, I was
Took him out of his life.
What a dude.
I was doing it for
That's
him.
Yeah, he didn't want to beat him by even more.
That's
What's more disrespectful, leaving him in?
No, taking him out. That's more disrespectful.
But
But if I take him out,
like
and he gets he fumbles on the first carry and I'll lose, I'm like, Man,
Well, if
I
you're
just
up by
taken
like
him out.
half a point, okay,
Yeah.
maybe. But if you're
This
up
was-
by
it
like
was-
10,
It was a public league. I wouldn't have done it in our league. I'd have been.
then our league got
I have
trashed
yeah.
you.
I was about to say I have respect for most of our league except for Michael. What'd you do this week? Who'd you pick up this week?
Who did I pick up?
Did you pick up a quarterback?
Oh, yeah, I picked up Deshaun Watson for the
Oh yeah, that's right.
I was not gonna bring it up, but then I was like,
I was like, who did I pick up?
Yeah.
I started thinking about that too. Finally.
I've had Justin Fields, haven't I?
Yeah, I was like, who did I pick up?
All right, that takes us to.
When you say quarterback, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's I did do that. Yeah, that was me. Yeah, my bad. Guys.
Ryan hates you. That takes us to the defense.
I don't hate you, but took you down a notch in my book. Moves you back down.
What if I drop him again? Then do I get moved back up?
But then you're probably gonna turn around and pick him back. Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna let him play against Houston, then I'm gonna drop him. Yeah. He said, no, you don't move up. You don't move
That
back up.
revenge game. The league set that up.
Oh, they 100%.
Oh yeah. How many games are you gonna suspend him? I don't know. 11. It's a random number. Why
He's
not?
gonna come back
it's
this
game
week.
1 against Houston. That doesn't matter. Roger Goodell.
All right, so defensive battle, we have Arizona DST going against LA versus Indianapolis going against Vegas.
Give me Arizona.
Yeah.
If Stafford doesn't play and it's Wofford,
Even if
give me
Stafford
Arizona.
plays, I mean,
Arizona.
yeah, it's Arizona.
I think they said the Rams are the best team to play your defense against this year.
Got a bold prediction.
No.
Bold it.
Indy for 20.
Oh.
Jeff Saturday's gonna come and get these boys fired up.
Blazing.
Oh man, Trey.
Jonathan Taylor some love.
I like that. I like that. All right. So, who we taking, gentlemen?
You said 20 or 30?
It's a 20.
Okay.
30. Whew, they ain't doing
Only the
it.
Patriots.
Or the 49ers did like a decade ago where they scored 70 for
Yeah.
Ramsdale that year. Goodness gracious, that was great.
Give me Broach.
Yeah, I think Broach is gonna bounce back with a win ranking.
That's a bounce back.
All right, so Jake taking Broach, Michael taking Broach.
I'm taking Scorpion King.
I'm going to take...
I like your pause. I like the combo you put in there.
I'm going to take Scorp as well. It's in a close one. Like, I think this will be the closest matchup of the week.
I have to go based off my bold predictions of Evans scoring twice and Johnson
Deontay
scoring,
Johnson.
so.
Who'd Bryan take?
Brian took Broach as well.
Okay. All right,
So we had Brian with Broach, Jake with Broach, Michael with Broach, and then me and JT with Scorp. So
Yep.
we got.
Yep.
All right.
All right, so do we have any closing thoughts for Week 10 of the fantasy football season?
I don't think so.
Playoffs right around the corner.
Yeah,
It's getting
playoffs
exciting.
ain't far. Playoffs ain't far. We'll start
I mean,
out.
and you see with the trade deadline, people are prepping for it.
Yeah.
Or people are trying to make the last ditch effort to make it.
That's true. It's true. You're starting to see that.
My team's still for sale if anyone's interested.
You got to rename. You got to
You got to
rename
put
your team
you
for
got to put
sale.
there.
Nah, then they ain't really for sale.
Well, I've traded like
He's got feelers
4
out.
times. I don't know. Me and Michael have done a lot of trading off our teams.
Somebody slide in your DMs. Don't worry about it. It's gonna happen.
It'll be Ryan.
I'll send trade. I'll send trade requests.
You've not sent
from
me a
week
trade all
1
year.
all the way
Yeah, you haven't
through.
sent me a
You
trade.
haven't sent me a trade all
The only
year.
ones I've
Send me a
gotten
trade all
from-
year.
From
So,
Jordan.
yeah.
Except
Hell,
for
you
Ryan.
tried to send a trade.
I gotta stop sending trades to Jordan and Tyler.
Why
That's
are
what it
you
is.
sending trades to Jordan?
Because
He's
I
in
like
first.
players on his team.
Don't trade with people that, again, you are battling
I
with
want
the top.
Commanders, and he's got them all.
Why do you?
Why do you want
I don't, but that's who he's got.
I don't
That's who he's got to sit me in the counter. So
She's like, I don't
I
get
like
it either.
it.
All right. Well, that wraps up Week 10 for the Fantasy Football 5. We will see you boys next week.
later.
Creep on in, on in, on in.